a Q&A for July 2018. We have a bunch of questions that we're going to get through. We're going to go through them one by one in the order that they were received. We've got a lot of people here today, which is nice, and a lot of juicy questions. The first one comes in from Michael. He says, hello, Easy Allies. I'd like to see some streams where you guys play your picks for the Hall of Greats and explain to other allies why you think the game should be in the Hall of Greats. For example, a 2-hour stream with all allies where Kyle plays Mega Man Legends and explains to everyone why it belongs in the Hall of Greats. Or maybe Don playing his picks for the Hall of Greats for all allies. Do you think something like this could happen?
Yeah, I think that's a super good idea too. Especially like if we're just talking as producers and thinking of marketing and building up hype for Hall of Greats. I think it's hard for us to organize streams where it's just two of us because we're so disparate, because we're so far away from each other. It's hard for me to say like, hey, Brad, come over on Thursday night, watch me play a game for 2 hours and then drive back home. You know what I mean? So that's the tricky part for us currently. I'd love to do streams like that.
I agree.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about possibly shifting up our production schedule were we to move into a studio, and that might be maybe a fun thing to tack on to like a work day, you know, to be like, I'm nervous about like making it a regular thing. So it's like once a month on this day, you know, it's going to be a Hall of Greats stream, but just having that be open for people to do, because there's definitely stuff that I want to go back and play, or specifically the Don stuff. I mean, I could sit and watch Don play SimCity for hours. That would be great.
Especially so you're thinking like, after something has failed, because it usually like that's whole part of it, right? Is that everything's secret until we get there.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a preview. It would be, you know, maybe before the next, like Kyle was saying, before the next Hall of Greats, we talk about maybe some things that didn't make it in last time, and the person gets another shot.
And really, like overall, I'd love to do more 2 and 3 people streams. Is something that I really want to make happen for Easy Allies. Because like, I mean, just doing this 24-hour marathon, I love that vibe. I love the 2 and 3 vibes. I think maybe even more so than group streams. I like having a small crew and just everybody's into the game, feeling it.
Cool.
I love the idea of Kyle streaming Mega Man Legends, and we're all there like loving it and just being like, oh, we finally get it, Kyle. You're right. He finally sells it. And then Hall of Greats comes, like none of us vote for it.
I know that feeling.
Our next question comes in from Alexander. He says, greetings from Russia. Let's start this Q&A with a little love and respect game. Step 1, name one of your most beloved games. So we'll just go down the list here. Huber, name one of your most beloved games.
Resident Evil 2.
Cool. Kyle?
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Okay. Ian?
Portal.
Cool. Good pick. Brandon?
Super Castlevania 4.
Also very good. Blood?
Wave Race 64.
The Don pick. Brad?
Final Fantasy 7.
Cool. I'm going to name Metal Slug 3.
Yeah.
All right, so there's a step 2 to this. Compare your game with the person on your right and name at least one thing which is better in his game than in yours. For example, if Ian picks Bloodborne and on his right, Blood picked The Witcher 3, Ian can say that The Witcher 3 has better faces than Bloodborne. That's a really...
We're not that predictable.
Not true.
No.
Also just not true.
So it's going to look maybe a little bit different for you than it does for us, but I think we can still make the game work. Okay, so Brad, I'm sorry, what did you pick?
Final Fantasy 7.
Okay, so you picked Final Fantasy 7. Say one thing that Wave Race 64 does better than Final Fantasy 7.
You cut out there.
Yeah, you cut out, Brad. You're muted.
Oh no, we lost him.
He's got a blood mic.
Brad.
No.
Oh,
I read his lips. His lips said water.
Yeah, he said water.
Unplug
sure.
the mic and plug it back in. That's what I have to do with mine.
I think he said graphics and action.
I think story.
Story.
He said story, yeah.
Yeah, it's got the best,
I heard
it's the best
character
characters.
building. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was character building. The lip sync, way better.
While we're waiting for that, Blood, if you could say something that Super Castlevania 4 does better than Wave Race 64.
360-degree stage. That one that like spins around.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. I would love to see something like that in a wave race game. I don't know how it works.
This is a 3D game.
You just mean like a rotating stage where you're like wave racing on the walls?
Like you're like
It's a tube,
some kind of like Mario Galaxy style tube.
Jet Moto vibes.
Go off of a big wave and then like flip around to the other side of the tube.
Okay, so wait, what did? Oh, he said Portal. Okay, what is something Portal does better than Super Castlevania 4?
I think it has a better twist. Almost takes a page from Symphony of the Night by kind of subverting what you would think would be the ending of the game, and then no, the best part of the game is yet to come. Castlevania 4 is pretty linear and predictable, but so good.
What does something that Super Mario Brothers 3 do better than Portal?
Platforming.
Oh, that one's right. That's
True.
Oh, funny.
First-person platforming rarely works.
Huber, I'm sorry. What did you
First
say?
platforming Portal.
Oh, you said
Pretty
Resident
good though.
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Kyle, what's something Resident Evil 2 does better than Mario Brothers 3?
environments.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree with that. Huber, what's something Metal Slug 3 does better than Resident Evil 2?
Co-op.
Yeah.
Does it count if it's something that it doesn't have?
Yeah.
We've done a few of those so far.
Okay, yeah. Bioterror.
Something that Final Fantasy 7 does better than Metal Slug 3 is customization. Brad.
Better water?
Better water? Is that what you said?
Call it Huber, dude. He knows those lips.
Oh my.
All right. Cool.
By the way, is my fan too loud? I can turn it down.
No, you're
I
good.
don't hear it at
No.
all. Matt Curran says, "What's up, allies? If you could have any personality join Easy A for a month as an honorary member, gaming personality or not, who would it be? I personally would give anything to see Video Game Donkey on a podcast. But him and Bosman, the hot takes would be out of control."
Honorary guest ally, huh?
Elise Willems.
Good pick.
Yeah, that's a good,
It's a good pick.
Maximilian.
Also, a very good pick.
Danny O'Dwyer.
I was just gonna say Danny. I'd love to when he first started No Clip. I was like, if you need any VO help, I'll do anything.
He does his own VO. Yeah, he's on top of it.
Run yet.
Perfect timing, too. He's been tweeting about Bloodborne and Dark Souls.
I know.
Ooh.
Playing lots of
He's
Souls
dad
games.
now.
Yeah, he's taking care of his kids. He's playing.
Yeah, we can't have him this month.
I want Hideki Kamiya to join, and I just want him to shit
Absolutely.
talk us all the time. That's what I want.
You just wouldn't even show up.
Yeah. And like everything that we do, be like, yeah, Kamiya says we suck, so he didn't come to this thing. Sorry, guys.
Guillermo del Toro.
There you go.
I think Huber would
So jolly.
explode.
It'd be so jolly.
Get him to direct
Yeah.
a betting special.
Yeah, he's jolly vibes.
Directed by.
He turns us all into different monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halfway
We are
through, the
monsters.
Huber and Kyle just die.
The shape of Bosman.
I know it sounds crazy, but I think this would be big for us. Angelina Jolie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I think she's not going to have fun on any of the streams. She's not going to have anything to say about video games, but I think it'd be huge for us.
And Brad Pitt's just like off to the side. Like he doesn't want to come on camera, but he shows up.
Jones.
Jones, they
Yeah.
divorced.
Pick up a tabloid, baby.
No,
Yeah,
he's
they're
still
not
no.
together.
Nope, That's the thing. They're still friends. They still socialize, but they're just not an item.
So we get Brad Pitt as well, but he can't say anything. He can't.
Yeah.
He can't.
Never on camera. We just
Okay.
we claim he's there, but no one believes
Because
it.
that's the thing. The tabloids will run away with it, and so
Yeah.
he's got to be private about it.
If George Clooney showed up too, that'd be great.
Sure.
I can just imagine we'll say some opinion about a video game, and Angelina just smiles. That smile that indicates she hates what we're being there, but trying to be nice about it, trying to be polite.
She signed the contract.
I got
Also,
one more.
Yeah,
It's
Kermit the Frog.
not,
Just
it's
straight up
not a
Kermit.
bit. I'm serious. tabletop with Vin Diesel has been
Yeah,
Sure.
We need it to happen.
Yes.
Hubert, can you like think of your own tendencies right now? Imagine your tendencies if Vin Diesel was there.
You know what sucks is he gets bigger every year, Huber.
Yeah, he's way too big
The
time.
dream gets harder every single year we talk about this.
Maybe
It's bigger and
maybe he'll
bigger.
be big enough to be on Tables Have Escapades.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. All right, our next question comes in from Michelle. I grew up in the 2000s, and I've noticed that games that are widely hailed as the best or more influential by reviewers from that generation are, in my experience, rarely the games that my peers and I were actually into as kids. Some match up, like Mario Galaxy and Wii Sports, but a lot of less commonly discussed or praised games were the favorites of kids my age. You would have been hard-pressed to find someone who didn't have a copy of Nintendogs, Cooking Mama, Kirby Squeak Squad, or a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. Having the best house in Animal Crossing Wild World was a serious point of pride at school. All of these games sold very well, but none reviewed amazingly. I understand that this disconnect is the result of a difference in how adult reviewers and children see games, but the games you play as a kid are often what influence your future taste the most, and the best reviewed games aren't always the games that kids prefer. Which brings me to my question, what games from this generation do you think will be most influential to kids today?
Oh, like
Fortnite.
Fortnite,
Fortnite.
Minecraft, and what's the one
Minecraft.
that's like blocks? Something blocks?
Roblox?
Roblox. Roblox is going to be huge, and we'll never understand why.
It's interesting their examples though, because I feel like Nintendogs and Animal Crossing like definitely reviewed well.
But we don't talk about it. We don't talk about that when we think of like best games on the DS or anything.
Top
you know?
100 lists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing we would, but yeah, Nintendogs I think kind of lost its novelty after time.
I always think Minecraft always kind of fits into that area because it's just still so incredibly huge, but it just like doesn't make headlines. Like we never really have conversations about it, but it's still enormous.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the
yesterday
same
I
thing with
saw
Pokemon Go right now, right? Like nobody's talking about it, but everyone's playing it somehow.
everyone's playing it, yeah. Yesterday I saw a video on YouTube that went up a day before and had about Minecraft and had like 1 million views, and it was about like a poop pickaxe or something. And I was just like, we're still doing that, huh?
Yeah.
Let's still get numbers. Okay. That's cool.
I think
I mean, it was one of the games they showed off the adaptive controller with. Like a couple of games they picked, that's one they thought was important to show.
Yeah.
maybe this is just the attitude that I saw from what I was surrounded by, but I think the era of like Nintendogs and Cooking Mama and some of the stuff on the Wii, there was still kind of this snarkiness at that time. That was a time where like hardcore gamer was thrown out a lot. And I think it just kind of like created this stipulation that those games weren't as serious as some other games, which was kind of a shitty trend that I think has died down a little bit. But
Well, and like the question is interesting to me because when I was a kid, like I didn't even know they like reviewed video games until I was like in high school because I didn't care. Like I didn't care what people thought of them. I just liked what I thought was fun, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
It's
well,
like
the Nintendo Power reviews were like what, a paragraph or two,
Right.
and nobody cared what the numbers were.
Right.
4 stars for everything.
The most important metric for me was fun factor, Game
Yeah.
Pro.
I remember Nintendo Power doing like a 100-point scale with percents. They would give things like 91%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely went through different periods, right?
They
Because
did.
like in the
Yeah.
later 2000s, towards the end, they got pretty serious on that front. They changed up their editorial style.
Well, one thing that I always like to keep in touch with, because I have friends who have kids that are now like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. And so I'm always like, I feel terrible because I haven't seen my friends in a long time, and I go to a party or a gathering and I immediately go straight to their kids. And I'm like, what are we playing? What's going on? I see you're on your phone. What are you doing? And is just the 3DS is still rocking, you know, like I go to was it Comic-Con, hundreds of people had 3DSs. I go to Disneyland, everybody's got a 3DS. And my one of my friend's kids always he's been playing Majora's Mask for months and months and months. And so he'll keep telling me his progress. And he's like, this part in the forest, when you got this one mask, what did you do? I'm like, dude, it's been 15 years since I played that game. Like, I have no idea. I would love to give you tips. But, and so just this idea that like, we're all so obsessed with the Switch. We talk about the Switch so much, but there's like so many kids out there that they're like, I can't afford the Switch. My parents can't get me a new console. So I'm still playing this system that still has all these incredible games on it. But no, you know, it's not a conversation we have that often.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing for me. Like when I was a kid, everyone else that had an NES, I was still playing Atari, and I was playing a Commodore 64, which none of my friends had. And then by the time I got an NES, the Super NES was already out. You know, it took a while for me to like get caught up.
The games are still good.
I do almost feel though that 20 years from now, narrative-driven games still might be like the best reviewed games.
Why do you think that is?
I think it plays well to a reviewer. I think it plays well to somebody who has to look at a game critically. It's just hard for an open game like Minecraft to get a good review, I think. Even if somebody grew up with Minecraft their entire lives, I still kind of think that the way that reviews are, they're still lend themselves better toward those games.
It's kind of like PUBG, how like most reviews were kind of average, and then every now and then you'd have one review that's like 10 out of 10. This game is perfect. And you're like, well, it found its audience. Like that was the person that game was made for, where most of, like you were saying, most reviewers have fun, but then have to move on to something else.
Our next one comes in from Jeffrey. He says, hey, allies, what is your favorite Persona video game and why?
That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, 5 for me.
5.
5 because it's
5 is
the
my
only
point of
one that
entry.
I have played.
Yeah.
So it's the only honest answer I can give.
Good music.
It's a hard question, but I think I would do
4.
5 as well.
Let's hear 4. Let's hear why, Ian.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
Really good vibes, yeah.
Yes, very good vibes.
Is there a Persona game without good vibes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the old ones, 1 and 2. I will say the dungeons are the best part about 5. They improved upon the most. The dungeons in 3 are terrible. Going through Tartarus sucks, Ben, you know.
Yep.
4 did a little better, but 5 just really elevated it to a whole new level.
That's a good point.
Yeah, those dungeons in 4. Ugh.
Yeah, the dungeons in 4 are not very good. 5, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Ian, there's things about 4 that I prefer over 5. So it's a question that I could see myself flip-flopping on later. But I think, just the improvements. And that soundtrack, man.
The soundtrack from 5 is my favorite thing about that game.
Still sticking with me.
Yeah.
I like the menu design, too.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
That people cosplayed as a menu.
Yeah.
It's a good sign that your design is good.
All right, next question comes in from VG Junkie. Hey, allies. I do not hate any of these games, but from League of Legends
Here we go.
to GTA to Overwatch to PUBG to loot boxes to Fortnite and soon probably Red Dead Redemption 2, media oversaturation on trending topics and games week in, week out over the years has been starting to grate on me in a major way. I've had to mute the entire news feeds from traditional media and ad-based sites like Otaku, IGN, and GameSpot just to reduce the noise, since they have a tendency to write everything and anything to capitalize on a fad for the clicks. It seems like the current state of games media is such that no one site gets a scoop and the rest just play telephone over the next several days, regurgitating the same info, or they just throw out half-assed editorial or top 10s with sensationalized and clickbaity headlines. Question, do you ever get tired of hearing about the same thing week after week? And as a Patreon-funded group, are you still beholden to covering the biggest trends by virtue of them being popular for the exposure? Just curious about your thoughts.
Whoa.
I would say there's not much that we do for the sake of exposure right now. I mean, if we're into something, we're into it. And if we're not, we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, we're playing Fortnite a lot just because Huber likes to play Fortnite a lot.
Yeah, it's Huber's fault.
Yeah, I was going to echo that. I mean, if you look at like the things that we bring to Frametrap or the things that we bring to like charity streams, I really do think it's driven by things that we want to do. When Don brings a SimCity game to Hall of Greats, right? He's not doing that to be cool. He's doing that because he really loves it and wants to make a case for it.
And he's not doing it to be weird either. Some people get that strange misconception.
No, I mean, people interpret things however they want, but I honestly feel like I can say with this group with 100% confidence that we're we have the privilege because we're a Patreon funded group, and it's pretty damn amazing that we can talk about what we want to talk about. I think there's, at the same time, like, when we talk about reviewing stuff, there's definitely like we should probably give this a look. I do think there is a little bit of a sense of obligation, but I don't think it's ever done solely for that.
Speaking to how I pick stories for the podcast, it's mostly driven by what I find interesting, really, like what I think like we could have a good conversation about. I think it was on Reddit. They asked why I didn't pull. No, it's just the comments in the comment section. Why I didn't talk about the new Warframe stuff. And like I tried last year, I was like, hey, they have an open world now. And then the comments were all corrections about like they've had an open world. And it's like, I just like, we don't know about the game. I don't want to talk about this game we don't know about because it just makes us buffoons. I could say they added a new space thing where you go in your spaceship and then you launch into space, and it's just more of like, that's not what it is. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about this then. I don't want to. It's okay. Listen to people who know about Warframe talk about Warframe. And so it's kind of that, I don't like to get too deep into the things that we're out of our expertise on. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just like those broad topics are the ones that we can talk about best. And I do think it's interesting, the point about how nobody's getting scoops and we all regurgitate off each other. That's a lot of news. That's a lot of like sports news. That's a lot of car news. It's a lot of like everybody's news all over. It's what I like. I actually like it. I like listening to sports radio and watching sports on TV during the day, where they just have to have debates about the stuff that everybody already knows, and about debates about the things that nobody knows because of the stuff that's to come. Like, I think they have a 60% chance of winning that game. It means nothing. That's meaningless, but it's still exciting and it's still a debate. It's stuff I like.
I think that's what I like about how you frame stuff on the podcast, Kyle, is because you never start a conversation like, hey, well, and sometimes you do tell me about new stuff, probably half the time, but it's never structured that way where it's like, hey, breaking news. It's like, I'm assuming everybody listening to this podcast already knows about this. What you don't know is that this might tie into something else, or here's where the conversation that I want to use this piece of news as a launch pad for.
Yeah.
So it's never just the news itself. And if it looks like it is, then that's probably why we don't cover things, because it's like we agree, disagree, or don't care, and then
right,
60-second conversation's over.
Like, we didn't talk about the rocket in Fortnite for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? We didn't just talk about that going up and then shattering the thing. We talked about everything else beyond that. And yeah, exactly.
Something that I imagine is really frustrating for our audience, and I don't know really how to fix, Kyle, because like you brought up Warframe, and I'm just at the very beginning of trying to attempt to get into Warframe.
Cool.
Like, there's really no rhyme or reason as to why it's now. I just am.
Right.
Well, they had a lot of hype from that show, that convention.
Yeah.
They had a lot of hype, but it's just like, and I'm not even anywhere close to having a semblance of expertise on it, but it's just like that happens with us sometimes, where we'll come late to something, we'll fall into something, we'll fall out of something, and I'm just using Warframe as an example. And like, I can imagine it's really frustrating for our audience when they're like, okay, well, these guys clearly don't know anything about this. And then we do get into it, or we are into it and we get out of it. Like, just that kind of yo-yoing, I can imagine.
Yeah. Or
sucks.
I have the opposite experience sometimes. Like, I played Warframe when it basically every level kind of looked the same, like the very like beginning betas, and haven't played it in the years since. And then like similarly, like, I played through the first month or so of Gran Turismo Sport, and saw, when they first started doing those competitions online, and since then there's been tons of stuff added to it, and I have no idea what that game looks like right now.
Yeah. I wish, I don't know, I guess there was just a better way to kind of communicate to our audience what we know and what we don't know. I don't know.
Assume the least amount possible.
Yeah. You're right. You're 100% right. Next one comes in from Robert. I cannot think of a good question this month, so instead, what are your hopes and dreams for General Hux in Star Wars Episode 9?
That's a fantastic question. You
That's
did
really, really good. Very specific question. Starting with
Go back to being a serious character like you were in Episode 7. Make the First Order not a joke anymore. They need to be an intimidating force, not community banter.
Brad, a beard?
A beard would do it, yeah.
A beard
No,
will do it.
I don't
Problem
think so.
solved.
How
I
about
don't
a
think
long
so.
mustache?
No.
I think a
No.
mustache.
I think his look is fine. His attitude needs to change.
A scar. He needs a scar.
Well, he keeps getting one-upped by Kylo, and then there's just no retaliation. Like there's clearly it's bubbling, it's brewing. Like we're clearly some kind of confrontation. I would love for Hux to just completely abandon Kylo, like put him in a situation where Kylo actually you're kind of start to be on Kylo's side, where you're like, oh no, like he kind of screwed him over. Like Hux just keeps being in the background, being like, well, I lost, I guess, and you're like, haha. Next scene, and it's just like there could be more there. You can like Brad was saying, just take that seriously. And I think they've done an okay job building up to it. I think it can be something.
Yes.
If there's no explosion between the two of them in episode 9, I'll be disappointed because
I think there will be 100%.
Yeah, he'll try to kill him and he'll fail or succeed, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, just no more prank phone call jokes, please. We don't need that.
Good characterization of that.
I guess make Hux feel like somebody I should care about, because if it weren't for Brad, I wouldn't even know that I should know anything about General Hux.
He seems like a stooge to me. It doesn't seem like he matters.
Because episode 8 did that.
Episode 7 did that too.
No, before that, I wasn't
point
sure
in
who
episode
General Hux
7.
was.
He always seemed like just an angry mouthpiece that didn't matter. Like he seemed out of his depth the whole time.
No, I
Oh,
don't think
dude, I
so.
disagree. In 7, him and Kylo are both like.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
I don't see that at all.
He's disrespected in 7.
Yeah, he's disrespected, and also like just narratively, this guy is not.
In episode 7, him and Kylo have a total rivalry going on, so they do butt heads
He
back
thinks
and forth.
he does, but like
They do. They
me
do
as a
because-
viewer, I'm like, you're not. You have no horse in this
Okay,
race.
well, that's like the
I disagree.
rivalry is totally set up.
Yeah, because
carries
Hux controls the entire army. Like, yeah, obviously Kylo's like got force powers, but like Hux is on a level with him because he has the entire army.
All right, so they're sitting in front of I forget Snoke's face. They're standing side by side, and Snoke is like, "Kylo, you're more important."
Right. Basically,
he just does that.
Straight up happens.
In what, 8?
But that's the
Or
rivalry.
7
7.
and 8.
And
Yeah,
7.
yeah. Well, obviously he's his apprentice.
Yeah. He's like, you're the important one, and you're the side
He
one.
definitely thinks Hux is important, or else Hux would not be in there with him one-on-one.
Mm.
You know,
Okay,
remember that
he's-
scene with Kylo Ren walking in the room and Hux is talking to Snoke, and he looks at Kylo as he's walking with like a smug smile because he knows he's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, all that like factually is true, but like the way that the narrative of 7 and 8 is structured, because like Kylo's the one we're following into that scene, Hux is already in there, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, sure, in the structures of the government, Hux has importance, but in the structure of the story, he's second fiddle. And
Yeah,
you just
I mean,
don't
to me,
just,
Hux
like,
just seemed like some guy that's
know
going
he
to
is.
go for and that's
For
it.
sure.
That's what I mean. It's like
For sure.
we as a narrative see Hux as a second fiddle because he is in the narrative.
Totally.
So it's like either the way you subvert that is to have him kill Kylo Ren, or have Kylo Ren kill him, which is what you expect to happen.
He'll just betray him at the end, and Kylo will be off on his own, and
Yeah.
will rule the Empire.
Yeah, if
Or
Hux
the
like
First
just
Order.
leaves him, that'd be cool. Yeah.
That's sweet. I like that idea.
My dream is episode 9 opens with a scene where Hux is with his girlfriend, and they're talking about the beard.
Yeah.
Should I get one? Is that what he's saying, or is like, should I shave it?
Should I shave it? Yeah.
Should I keep it or shave it? What do you think? And his girlfriend's just like super nice.
Yeah.
It's actually the scroll. That's what it's all about. And the years since episode 8, General Hux has grown a lengthy beard.
Episode 9, the beard.
Hux has a beard! Exclamation point.
And then his girlfriend's like, "You can keep the beard. What I'd love is if you stop blowing up planets."
Yeah.
What if they have a cool sci-fi relationship where it's like 3 girlfriends and 3 boyfriends,
Yeah.
and it's very intimate.
And it's just totally normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll go over really well.
Oh yeah, the internet would love that.
Love it. Love it.
What do you all think of my beard?
The internet tears itself apart.
And they're all just like half naked in bed, just entangled with each other.
Oh man.
What do you think of this?
And then the scene, like, some of them like it and some of them don't. And then at the end of the scene, Hux just goes, well, let's put it to a vote. And then it wipes to something else. Kylo, like, crying on a log in the desert.
There's just a straw pull on the theater screen.
And the movie just went.
All right, next question.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't know how much Hux we had at us.
That movie's gonna be good.
Got a lot.
There's more. It's not.
Got a lot.
All right. Next question comes in from Joseph. I know I'm a few months late, but congratulations on the new audio and visual equipment. Thank you. Everything looks significantly better, so the money was clearly well spent. However, all of us consumers occasionally get the idea in our heads that purchasing something unnecessary will somehow substantially improve our lives. Story of my life. I want to know a relatively expensive purchase you've each personally made that you later regretted, or you just didn't utilize the product or service nearly as much as you thought you would. It doesn't have to be video game related.
This is not shade. This is not a slight. Xbox One.
I knew it was coming, dude.
It's not a slight. When you have a PlayStation 4 and a PC as well, you don't really need it.
It's a slight.
When I lived in my apartment when Game Trailers was in its early years, I bought myself a keyboard, and I didn't play that.
A musical keyboard.
A musical keyboard. I was like, I used to play piano when I was a kid. I used to take lessons and everything, and I was like, oh, I'll get back into it. And I was like,
I hear you, Jones.
very, very wishful thinking.
Like 2 years ago, I really wanted to play Magic in person with people, and I was super excited about it. And I went to a tournament, and I played, and I had a great time. And so, like, I went and I spent a bunch of money. Like, I spent like $200 on, maybe more, but at least $200 on a red deck. And I was like, this is it. This is the beginning of my Magic journey. And then I just got busy and didn't play the deck one time.
Oh. Dude, do you still have it?
Yeah, I still have it.
Let's play.
Hubert,
Let's get some used to it.
You were the light of my life.
I think I have a deck.
I have
a deck right here, Ben.
Got the name.
I'll bring it.
It sounds like there's 5 cards in there.
No, this is a full deck, dude.
Ben,
Yeah.
play Huber and do a stream. Call it Red Deck Redemption.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hubert, the problem though is I feel like we might have like Must Be Nice 2.0.
No,
this was like a meta deck at one point.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That's
I mean,
the problem.
Rash.
Yeah,
how
we
long
didn't
ago
know
was
meta.
this?
I mean, it was a while ago. I think it was 2 years ago.
Like, given the nature of Magic, you could have like a meta deck from 3 years ago, and then like a out of the box deck would just beat it now.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
game is like
My cards are
ages
like
so fast.
15 years ago. Probably get destroyed.
Yeah.
Huber, I would love to
Play
play
Magic.
just one game of Magic with you though.
I got several decks I could bring. I got to find them though.
Let's do a draft.
I'll go buy a starter deck today if we can play Magic.
So down. Yeah, this thing is basically a starter deck from like a few years ago. And then I have some decks from obviously like 10 years ago. when I
Yeah, the
played
red
it.
one, right?
Yeah.
I've got so many decks.
The Thunder Lightning Bolt thing.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Shock.
Cheap.
Yeah,
It gives
Shock
me-
is so cheap, dude. One
It
mana,
gives me
2
so
damage.
much joy that your favorite color is green and you like big creatures that hit for a ton of damage.
Dude, this guy.
Trample.
Love Trample. This guy
Trample,
right here.
Force Walk.
This behemoth, 6/6 with Trample.
That's a classic.
This is the greatest Q&A we've ever done.
We gotta get that 2019 core set.
Dude, the quote on this? The quote
Hell,
on this,
dude.
Ian,
Yeah.
some like Jurassic Park quote. Life will find a way, or it will make one.
Yep.
Same.
Like straight up.
That's
Yeah, it sounds
that
like
quote is absurd.
A little redundant, yeah.
Yeah, finding and making kind of the same in that.
Oh, they'll find a way.
Do we have other purchases that weren't the best for us?
It's not like hugely expensive, or do I have that much regret for it? But kind of similarly, I bought Eye of Judgment, and I played it twice.
Real good. Very good pick,
Oh
bud.
man,
That's so cool.
yeah, that's a blood. That is amazing.
dude.
That's so funny. I definitely have a couple of board games and like a synth or two that I don't use much. They're not tearing my life apart though.
The only collector's edition I ever got was Metal Gear Solid on PS3, which had 2, 3, and 4. I spent $100 on it because it had a book with it. And that was the last one I ever got because it was like, I really could have bought the regular edition. I don't need this book. And in fact, I ended up giving that book to Damiani for the Metal Gear timeline that never surfaced.
No,
He actually
I
needed that
remember
book.
people that existed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where's Damiani?
I don't know.
Dude, I have Judgment
Is he
has
still sleeping?
75 on Metacritic, Bloodworth. Let's play I Have Judgment, dude.
Judgment stream was pretty
It would be a
amazing.
good stream.
Yeah.
dude.
That'd be very.
It would be interesting. I'm curious how it would end up looking, but yeah.
Dude.
Cool. I have
Play
Judgment
that.
and Invisible, so let's do it.
All right. Our next question comes in from Alex. Hi, allies. In this month's Q&A, I present to you my top 5 favorite video game character names. Number 5, Vector Man. Very good pick. Number 4, Terry Bogard.
Mm-hmm.
Also very good pick. Arngrim from Valkyrie Profile. Sid and Deckard Cain.
Nice.
Good list.
Yeah.
The question.
The question is, my question is to you.
That one's an A. That
Which
one's an
video
A.
game character names are your favorite?
Oh, okay.
Max
Jill
Payne.
Valentine.
Ooh.
That is really good, Huber.
Dude,
I'm
Max
with you
Payne knows
100%.
who Jones. Sounds good.
I've always been fond of the name Diz with a capital D, lowercase I, capital Z.
When it came with Disney characters, yeah, it's so dumb.
Kingdom Hearts has like 40 good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marluxia is a hilarious name to me.
Ooh, Ulf Chen in chat. Guzzlord is pretty
Guzzlord's
good.
a great
Yeah.
name, yeah.
Ornstein and Smo.
Yes.
I think like John Marsden's name just like that just feels right.
Yeah.
It's very him, yeah. Lara Croft.
Duke Nukem.
Nico Bellic.
It's funny, Huber. It's like, let's find a foreign sounding name that's still easy for people to say.
Yeah.
That is what
Sure.
Nico Bellic is.
They nailed it, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta play 4 again.
I'm kind of into the names Bass and Treble a lot.
Yes, those are good names. Proto Man is a rad name.
Proto Man is the sick name.
Bowser.
Bowser. Ganon.
Mario, and Luigi Mario.
Any more hot names?
We're tapped.
All right. We're
Barry
tapped.
Burton.
Ooh, Barry Burton is a good pick.
Yeah, that's
Every
good.
Resident Evil character we just
Yeah,
named.
so many good ones.
Anyone with alliteration.
Leon
is good.
S. Kennedy.
Oh, baby.
Love the S.
Yeah,
Salazar. What's his first name?
that's a good name.
Salazar.
Mr. Kennedy.
Ace Attorney has the best names. Yeah, that's true. There's some good Ace Attorney names. I can't think of them out right now.
Miles Edgeworth.
Yeah. Isn't there a guy named Butts in there somewhere?
Risky move.
Samus, Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman's a bad name.
Oh, I like it.
Sure. Cloud's
Free man.
Free man.
Sephiroth's a good one.
I actually think Cloud Strife is a pretty bad name.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Any name with that the name is also in a song is good. Sephiroth.
Larry Butts. That's the name for the Ace Attorney guy.
Not a good name.
Eris's last name is Gainsborough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that those names existed until
Yeah.
Nah, Nomura thought this through.
Tifa Lockhart.
I don't think
remember
Nomura
from-
named them.
You don't think he did?
I don't see anything wrong with the name Tifa Lockhart.
Maybe he did.
No, not a thing.
That's a good name. All right, our next question comes in from Maddie. Hi, allies. No Man's Sky was recently launched at Xbox One, which reminded me of a question I had during this year's E3. At launch, Rise of the Tomb Raider was a console exclusive for Xbox One and eventually came out on PS4. Microsoft was criticized a lot about making the game a timed exclusive. Microsoft has also faced a lot of ridicule about their E3 voice announcements, console exclusive, etc., or world premiere, that sort of thing. However, Sony's way on their E3 showcase is merely to show the trailer and, in essence, force people to find out themselves if the game is an exclusive or not. Recent examples of this are Resident Evil 2 Remake and Monster Hunter World. Also, it is now clear that No Man's Sky was a timed exclusive for PS4. But before, at least to the public eye, it seemed that the game was a console exclusive for PS4. Sony hasn't received backlash for this, at least not the amount that Microsoft did about Rise of the Tomb Raider. So
Let me stop you right here. This one's easy. This person is trying to point out some hypocrisy. However, the Tomb Raider series leading up to that point, the Tomb Raider reboot, was not console exclusive. It was launched on PS4 and Xbox, PS3 and Xbox 360 at the same time. So to take this franchise that is established as multi-platform and then put it only on one platform for a year, that was where the issue was. Because we would come in expecting the game that was multi-platform to continue to be multi-platform. Next question.
I mean, Kyle's right.
100%.
Yeah.
Was that actually the question?
The actual question, just to get it out there. So my question is, why is it that the company, which is more clear about the game's relation to the console, received far more ridicule and criticism about the subject, while the more ambiguous one doesn't receive any? Is there a double standard between the two companies? So yeah, that was the question. And he's right. Kyle's right. It's not the same thing.
Also, I think the exclusivity from E3 is not necessarily on a project-by-project basis. For me, it has to do with the fluidity of a presentation, where it's like, you know, you're like, hey, and now we have this brand new game. And so like, I try to like erase my brain and just like, all right, I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm just going to try to take in creatively whatever they show me, you know, for the first time, you know, Babylon's Fall, like, let's do it. Give me a new IP and I'll see how long it takes me to really figure it out. And then just like world exclusive, like, well, all right. And it's like, here's the game. And it's like, well, yeah, now I'm thinking about exclusive though. Like you literally just dropped that thought into my head right before you introduced me to a new thing. And now it's like, you just kind of tainted it, man. Like, just show me the thing, then have me excited about that, then have me pursue information for it. Don't be like, we're super awesome, and then here's this game. It's like, stop it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think the examples in there is like Resident Evil 2. We know that's multi-platform, right? We have that expectancy. Resident Evil 7 was multi-platform. We can walk into 2 assuming that will be multi-platform. Like, we don't need them to say multi-platform out explicitly.
It's funny, the world exclusive things, it's just like, because Xbox has always done it, it's just like background noise. Like, I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah, to me, anytime I see that world exclusive thing, I'm just like, my headcanon is like, oh, we're seeing this for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm
like,
not thinking it's
you're
like
excited
exclusive.
you're excited that you paid money for this. Great. Good for you.
Next question comes in from Brandon. He says, hello, Alice. Watching my dad play the original Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo when I was 2.5. Oh, I'm sorry. The first part of this is, so my first memories in life are watching my dad play the original Donkey Kong Country on the SNES when I was 2.5.
Formative.
Wow. Really great. That led to my love of video games and the DKC trilogy. The DKC trilogy are still my favorite games to date. If you had a chance to go back in time and make a fourth game for the series on the SNES, what kind of game would you make, and what Kongs would you want as your playable characters? You could make up some new Kongs too if you would like. It doesn't have to include existing Kongs. I would want some sort of darker theme like Donkey Kong Country 2 because I love the atmosphere and level design in that game. Diddy and Kitty would be my characters because they're my two favorite Kongs, and seeing together would be so cool. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I really want a game that focuses on Funky Kong. That's what I want. If I could make DKC 4, like, he'd be right on the front of the box.
What would be his motivation for anything?
What would be his motivation for anything?
Like,
he's worried. So, okay, just spitballing this. Funky Kong is really cool, but he hears some other Kongs talking about stuff that they're way into, and he doesn't know what it is. And so his coolness feels threatened, and so he goes on a quest to learn more about what's cool, but really to learn about himself.
Ben,
I
that's
was
a really good game
yeah.
idea, dude.
Man, mine was way simpler. I was just gonna say like free slushy day somewhere, and he's like going out to get a Slurpee or something.
I
Side
agree with
quest.
that too.
Yeah. I
We
don't want-
need levels where Funky Kong surfs between islands.
It's like Funky's Cool Quest.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
Funky's Cool Quest.
Cool quest.
What's Donkey Kong's girlfriend with the blonde wig?
Candy.
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 A game exploring Candy's story and character would be interesting.
It's like Donkey Kong Country 4. I don't want candy.
But you're playing as Candy?
No, I think you're still DK. You're DK and Candy together, and he's trying to find the right time to break up with her.
Oh God!
I imagine Candy would maybe like be able to get to higher areas or whatever. She's like, or maybe squeeze through gaps.
Yeah, she has like twice his height. Yeah.
The whole game you're playing as DK and she's following you, and you think, you know, because in the games the other player always follows you, but really it's just DK trying to run away from her. That's sad. That's sad, Kyle.
I don't love this question because it's based off the premise that Tropical Freeze is somehow an insufficient sequel.
I hear you.
I get that the country games have certain elements that were not carried over, like you said, the darkness. But you can't ask for a better game than Tropical Freeze. That's just selfish.
I mean, Country Returns came first, so that's a sequel technically.
Yeah.
I'd like
He's
to
not
introduce
on.
Edgy Kong.
Edgy
He's-
Kong.
Yeah, he's dressed like Neo from the Matrix. And he's,
Yes.
and he's not into it. He's just not. And it's like they even go further than Funky, where like he does, he literally just moves through the level. Like you don't have to jump, you don't have to do anything. Like the enemies die if they get anywhere near him, and he's just like on his phone, like he just doesn't. Not into it.
You could introduce Edu Kong, who just teaches you how to type all the time, but the only words he ever spells are Kong and rare.
I want a scene with Edgy Kong where he's like another main Kong dies and he's holding the dead Kong in his hands and he goes, "I wanted to be the one to fill your dark soul with light."
No.
That's what I want.
The funny thing about a Kong typing game is I just imagine like their fingers are so big that they just hit like 6 keys at
8
once.
keys at a time.
They
He's got
got,
skinny little fingers.
they got gorilla scaled keyboards. Just give him one of those.
Yeah.
They jump on him.
Next question comes in from Palkin Stirs and Stirs. He says, "Will there be a cozy playthrough group stream of Shenmue 1 and 2 when the
Yeah.
remasters come out, like
Yeah.
in the GT days?"
Yes.
These
I
are
don't know
some
if
of
we'll
my
do a
favorite
full
streams
playthroughs
because
again,
of good
but there will
vibes.
definitely be streams.
Well, that's what the person's asking for. Like when it's just like Huber and Matt Blair and Brad and myself and whoever would pop in just to like sit down every week to like, play through 4 hours at a time.
If Jones allows it and people want to join, I will stream a full playthrough of Shenmue 1 and 2.
Why does Jones have to allow it?
Do it at Jones. At Jones's. Every week. Play
Jones,
a
do
few
you
hours.
allow it?
Not allowed.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, I will definitely be streaming those. Going through. 100%.
I would love for
Anyone
Jones to just go off on Cup of Jones. That, like, no more Shenmue.
Just shut off Shenmue completely.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He tries to
Done
bring up
with
the
this
podcast.
game.
But really, back to the question, I think it is like the way we're organized currently. It's just hard to do that. Hard to justify it. Hard to justify driving to Jones's for 3 hours of Shenmue. You know.
But
Yeah.
It's Shenmue.
What about
Yeah.
9 hours of Shenmue?
Yeah, what if we do like 6 hours each day?
That's a whole day, dude. That's a day blasted.
You in?
One sitting. Where's our
Kyle,
ambition?
lucky hit, dude. Let's go.
One sitting.
One
be sick.
sitting.
It's just 6 hours of lucky hit.
We've done it. I feel like we did 6 hours of Lucky Hit accumulatively.
You definitely
Yeah.
did a like entire
Yeah.
lucky hit day for sure.
But yes, the answer is yes. It's happening. I will make it
No,
happen.
Jones, shut it down, man.
Joe,
Sorry.
shut it
Joe,
down,
shut it-
Huber.
shut
You
it
don't
down.
even get a copy.
Yeah. You don't even get a copy.
It's gonna show up at Jonesy's. He's just gonna throw it away.
He's just gonna throw it away.
That should be a video, man. Oh,
It shows he opens his eyes. Shenmue.
Breaks the disc and throws it away.
and then he just sits down and plays Dragon Quest Builders.
Third time.
Third time.
Next question is from Caesar. He says, "Hello, allies. Same text as last month, just a different system. I want to build a gaming music library, and I'm counting on your wise input. I'll be using the following months to gather your favorite video game scores. Since we're dealing with over 30 years of gaming history, we'll be focusing on a different console each month. But don't think about exclusive. Multi-platform games count. Also, this is not a debate. We don't want to narrow it down. We want to expand. If 5 games pop to mind, don't choose. Just mention all of them. Be risky. Be wild. This month, the Xbox. What are your favorite soundtracks of that system?"
Halo.
Xbox.
Yeah, Halo is an easy, but beyond that, that's trick.
Jet Set Future.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. There you go. There's some cool stuff in Ninja Gaiden as well. It's like kind of ambient, but
Was Jet Set?
Gaiden.
No, that was only on. Well, it came out in that collection. Or not Jet Set. Space Channel 5. That was later.
Shenmue 2.
Ulf says Blue Dragon. I think we're just focusing on original Xbox.
Original Xbox, yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
Looks like some GTA came out there.
I don't remember the music of Panzer Dragoon Orta.
What am I yawning?
Orta.
Does any of the Coder games have good soundtracks?
I'm sure they do, but not that I remember
Yeah.
specifically. Oh, Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morrowind, maybe.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
More on top of the list for sure.
Trying to remember, Sands of Time had a decent soundtrack, right?
SSX3.
Yeah, Sands of Time absolutely has a very good soundtrack for sure.
Do not do the SSX3 soundtrack. It is not good. Can confirm.
Hoo-hoo.
Rayman 3.
What about Tricky, Kyle?
Way better soundtrack. Rozelle is still around at that point.
What was Jade Empire soundtrack like?
I don't remember.
I feel like that could have been a good one.
Does Psychonauts have a good soundtrack?
No, dude, it's all honky.
Oh, honky? Okay.
It's all like circusy and honky.
What about Fable?
It's all hunky.
Sure. What about Onimusha, Huber?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that was on Xbox original.
That
Yeah.
was on Xbox?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Genma Onimusha. I played Onimusha recently, like this year, and I don't remember the soundtrack very well.
It's got some like flutes.
Suits.
Yep.
Halo 2.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid 2 came out on Xbox as well.
Yeah, it did.
Silent Hill, dude.
Yeah,
You're-
Silent Hill 2.
Silent Hill 2.
I think you're lying to yourself, though, if you put Metal Gear Solid 2 on your Xbox playlist. You know what I mean?
Right.
It belongs
Sure.
on the PS2 playlist.
So basically Halo.
Halo.
I agree with Silent Hill 2. though. I actually played through. That's the system I played through Silent Hill 2 on, was the Xbox.
Really?
Yeah,
Mon Dieu.
it was. All right. Ulf asks, what was your first game you played on a home computer, as we called them back in the day? Man.
The
Hobbit.
It's gotta be
Virtual
like
Doom.
Doom. Yeah, it's gotta be Doom or Wolfenstein or Descent was a really early one.
Might have been an educational game like Math Blaster or
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Oregon
Trail.
or Dr. Brain. I played those a lot.
I remember one I used to play on our computer at home called Gopher or something. There was a farmer and it had a gopher problem.
Oh.
Something Chips. It was like a 2D game where you're like collecting chips. You're like a little
Oh,
blonde
Chips
boy.
Challenge.
Chips Challenge? I
Yes!
think that's my first
Yes!
ever PC game that I played.
Chips Challenges is a lot of fun. Yes.
Commander Keen. That was later though.
Load
Never played
Runner.
Commander Keen.
Load Runner, yeah, Load Runner 2 too. It was really good. Commander comes to down.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about stuff at school, it was most likely something like Word Munchers for me.
Word
Yeah.
munchers.
Treehouse.
Just the way you said that, Brad.
Yeah, Word Munchers.
I would think at home, the first thing that comes to mind is Captain Zap, which nobody else has probably heard of.
Nope.
Captain Zap.
I first played Mega Man X on PC, and it came with the gamepad in the box.
Really?
Whoa.
Interesting.
I don't have that gamepad anymore.
The controller I had for the Commodore was very similar to an Atari controller, only it was a little bit more ergonomic to your hand. But it was like, yeah, just like sit in your hand better, but instead of that big old flat box. So I think one of the trigger button was like in the grip of it.
I'm looking at Chip's challenge now. This game looks so weak.
Kyle, I remember really liking it at the time I played it.
Yeah, but now I'm looking at this. It's like collect blue keys to put into blue locks. It's like this looks miserable.
Can we have a settle it Chips challenge?
Yes, we need to settle it with Chip's challenge.
It looks like Minesweeper.
By the way,
It was a different time.
Yeah.
Captain Zap, if I remember, it was very much in the same line as like Space Harrier or something.
Lesson 1.
King's Quest. Definitely.
Man, I wish I would have played the King's Quest games growing up.
So slow.
Yeah.
So slow.
I loved slow adventure games at the time. All right. Our next question is from Santiago. He says, "Hi, allies. Sorry I can't join you all today for this Q&A because at this very moment, I'm attending California Extreme in Santa Clara, California. For those of you who don't know, California Extreme is a yearly event in the Bay Area which celebrates the arcade games from the past.
Cool.
Attendees can play virtually any arcade game or pinball machine made, including some newer release prototypes. Did I mention everything is set to free play? I'm looking forward to playing some Galaga, Miss Pac-Man, Burger Time, and NBA Jam the way they were intended. I can't explain how cool it feels having my brother at my side as we take on the Foot Clan in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I wish you guys could attend. My question is, if you did attend California Stream this weekend, which arcade games would you definitely play? Thank you for answering my question. I look forward to watching this Q&A later. Dude, I've wanted to go to California Extreme for years, and
Don's been, yeah.
Yeah, Don has gone, I believe, several times, and he just like adores it.
Yeah, say hi to Don for us.
Yeah, say hi
Yeah.
to Don.
Discs of Tron. Discs of Tron.
That 5-player
Mm.
X-Men every time.
Yeah, classic.
I've only ever touched one in my life, and it was Transcend.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
They're everywhere, Jones.
I mean, I've seen this consoles, but the actual wide, like,
Yeah,
the 5
player
one.
yeah.
Go to 82.
Okay.
Go to Button Mash.
All right.
It's awesome.
Alien versus Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Good pick, Huber.
I've always wanted to play Tapper.
God.
Like,
Port that damn game.
Tapper.
Ben, Tapper sucks, dude.
Oh, is that
I
like
just
the
wanted to
Batman?
play it.
Yeah.
I like it might suck, but I just always thought the gimmick was cool and I want to play it.
There's a cool like Budweiser edition where you're actually it looks like a Budweiser tap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that game, right.
I still hate that game.
Man, I'd probably play any SNK fighting game they had going on there. Maybe King of Fighters or something.
Man, this arcade that I used to go to back in the day had these like nice white sit down SNK cabinets that
Mhm.
were all grouped together, and just a slew of SNK games, and it was dope. That's how I played Metal Slug 3 for the first time.
Afterburner.
Ooh.
Afterburners.
Ooh.
There's a new cruisin' game called like Cruisin' Blast or something.
Oh yeah.
It's like new.
There's this
Yeah.
game you can play at round 1, and I don't remember the name of it, but it is so cool. You're like this couple that is on their honeymoon, or you're like on some sort of vacation, and they get roped into this absolutely wild situation, and it's this on-rails shooter a la kind of like Time Crisis-y, and like one person plays as the boy and one person plays as the girl, and there's a lot of physical comedy. It's just like very quirky. It's made by Sega. It's really fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I went down the rabbit hole on this Captain Zap thing. It looks like it was originally like a Flash Gordon game in Europe. It was like stripped of the license when it came out here or something. It was crazy.
There's a Japanese table flipping arcade game.
I know what you're talking about. I wanted to play that too.
I played it in Japan. It is hilarious.
Yeah. I read about that in a magazine.
It's pretty out of control.
I like Lucky and Wild,
Yeah, Lucky and Wild's great.
and I really like the DDR game you play with your hands. I can never remember the name of it.
yeah.
I really like that game.
Poppin' music or
Oh my god.
No. It's just swiping your hands. There's like a beam of light here and a beam of light
Oh.
here.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
So you're just like,
There are a lot of hand-based.
Kyle,
huh?
you driving or shooting in Lucky and Wild?
I'm shooting. I'm trusting my other friend to drive.
Okay, can I be the wheelman?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
co-op?
And you still get a gun. You get a steering wheel and a gun, and I get dualies.
Dude, we need to find that machine.
Yeah.
Lucky and Wild was everywhere growing up. It was
Ah,
awesome. I want to play some Outrun too.
Yeah.
Why don't we go to California Extreme? Why don't we make that a thing?
yeah,
How far away
This
is that?
seems
San Francisco.
dumb of us.
We can get there by 7 p.m. if we leave now.
Yeah.
I want to beat a House of the Dead game. Like finish it. I want to see the last boss of a House of the Dead.
That is so doable, Jones. We can do
Yeah.
this, man. We can do
Would
this.
you do House of the Dead 1?
Sure. 2 is pretty good too.
2 is very good. Okay, James, if you want a video game console or handheld with every single game ever made for that system, excluding current gen systems, which one would you pick and why? Easy question.
Sweet.
PS2.
Oh,
Can't be current.
PS2. Gotcha.
Sorry, Ben. What are the rules again?
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I read that a little fast. If you want a video game console or handheld with every single game ever made for that system, not counting current gen systems, which one would you pick? And why?
Okay.
PS2 for me. A lot of like obscure, hard to get stuff, and there's so many games on it.
Which one has the best resale value?
Super Nintendo, maybe. I'd pick Super Nintendo.
I'm probably with you, Brad.
Why?
There were just so many games back in the day. Like that's back when I like did not have anything close to a budget like to buy games, and then like was at the point finally where I had like a job in the PS1 era, so like could like get games in PS2 and stuff. Well, I just remember there were so many silly games, a lot of like movie license stuff that I was just so curious. Like I wonder what that game's like. And it would just be so great to just have them all there. I just imagine like the Super Nintendo is the kind of system where I could play a game for like 30 seconds and be like, sweet.
Yeah, that's what I was
load
saying.
up something else. Like, whoa, crazy. Okay.
It's really easy to jump into Super Nintendo games, especially like because there's so many like platformers on there that you could just play for a little bit and just hop around easily.
I'll do PlayStation 1. I think there are enough PS1 RPGs I haven't played where I could just play them until I die.
Yeah.
I could play RPGs till I die, I think, with
Big
the PS1.
It's a very good story.
Yeah, I can't decide between PS1 and PS2. I think I might go PS1 also. Yeah.
I think I would be more excited for the bad games on PS1 than I would the bad games on PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're out of excuses at that point. Why are you bad still?
I could also go like Game Boy Advance. Because
Yeah, John's
so
great
many.
pick.
kind of in the same way thing as Super Nintendo, like really easy to just start something. And there were just a lot of weird variants of popular games I had played that got like some crazy Game Boy Advance version that I never played because I was
Like
playing
Tactics. Tactics Advanced, dude.
Yeah,
You ever played
stuff
that?
like that. I mean, for the retro, but I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be fun.
I'm torn between stuff that like I had and like I know would be easy to like I would love a lot of these games and stuff that like hey I did not experience that at all. So like getting a Sega Saturn or Dreamcast would probably be have more.
Oh, there's the blood mic.
There's the blood mic.
We lost
blood.
you, blood.
Strikes again.
Lost
Look-
you.
Look at Jones checking out his Super Nintendo.
I'm just looking at everything that's on here, just imagining what if I had every game.
They're all quality games, dude.
Even just these, like so tempting.
That Super Nintendo Classic may have fallen on the floor. Just
it
throwing
still
that out there.
works. It still works.
There are no moving parts. Well, blood's gone.
I do want to hear Blood's answer while we're waiting for him to come back. We'll just go ahead and read the next one.
Lost your blood. Write it down.
Hold it up.
Nope.
Virtual boy.
That'd be a good stream.
All right.
Marcus
Well,
Pugh.
Testing.
Yeah,
he's back.
never
He's
mind.
back.
So that made no sense. I switched the settings on Hangouts to pick the mic again.
Cool.
Well, there you go.
I went from default to just picking the mic directly. Okay.
Dreamcast though.
Sure.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
'cause
Dreamcast.
I got Dreamcast and like I played Shenmue and I think that was pretty much it.
Cool.
So
There's
the rest of the Dreamcast games would be cool.
You
there's
could
so
finally play D.
Yeah.
We have to reboot that internet connection though.
Oh, with the Dreamcast though, that made me think of it. Would you get all of the accessories that were necessary as well?
I think you're allowed all the accessories.
Okay.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
the
like
Dreamcast
taking
has a
bass
ton of
fishing and
features.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Take it.
Seaman.
Samba de Amigo.
I did have a roommate that had Seaman. That was pretty fun.
Cool. Next one comes in from Richard. He says, "Hi, allies. This month, I would simply like to show a little love and respect to a member of the community. He has not put me up to this, but Cole is a member of the EZA Facebook group and has shared his story there. Cole is in need of a new drug which will help him combat a condition known as spinal muscular atrophy. I would simply like to bring attention to his GoFundMe page, which for anyone who is listening can be found on this Patreon post or on the unofficial EZA Facebook community page. I can link this in chat right now."
Spinal muscular atrophy. Is that what it was?
Correct.
A very good friend of mine has that. And she it's probably the same drug, if I'm not mistaken. She's on it now, and it seems promising. Crazy.
It's just extremely expensive.
Yeah, and you have to be like approved and all this. But the origin of this drug, if I understand correctly, was sort of like with diseases like this. Like it's kind of a weird thing where it's like it's rare enough that not a huge amount of funding goes into it until some rich guy's kid gets sick with it. And then like this dude just dumped like crazy money into it apparently. And they found a thing that apparently it was unprecedented where the FDA approved it like immediately after like a brief trial on like infants and everybody, which they almost never do. So it just like worked so well that it just like, and like if they get it early enough, it can reverse it. But at the very least, it'll like stall it out.
We should remember to put that link in the YouTube description too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for calling attention to that, Richard. Next one comes in from KB Holmes. He says, "Hey, allies, what are your greatest video game achievements? When I was younger, I somehow managed to defeat Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts on the first try with a broken left wrist, and I am immensely proud."
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about stuff that, like, yeah, prove it, and I look back and I'm like, I don't even believe that happened. Like, why? How did that? No way. I like beat like Super Mario RPG in like a weekend.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Yeah.
That seems doable, no?
Yeah, you beat the easiest RPG in one weekend. Good job. That's your greatest achievement, Billy?
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
What's your achievement, Kyle? Give me an achievement.
Platinum in Toy Story 3, Jones.
As an adult?
Is I don't know.
As
Is
an
that
adult.
hard?
Yeah. Nice, Kyle.
The qualifier. Killing Arthas and getting level 60 in Final Fantasy 11. My two
Arthas?
MMO.
Oh, separate. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, wait, huh?
Killing Arthas in World of Warcraft.
Ah.
And also in a separate game, getting level 60 as a paladin. And especially as a tank in 11, because if your party wipes, you're the first to go.
By the way, Ben,
The black mage is like,
Dark
I'm
Souls
out of here. And you're like,
I think I spoke over the person who submitted this one. Who submitted the question?
Just like what they did.
No, what was their name?
Oh, KB Holmes. is the
KB Holmes. Oh yeah, that was first. That came first. Right.
I can't prove this, but when I was in high school, I went to the Mall of America, and they had a DDR machine, and I I played it and I had like a little crowd form behind me, and that felt really good.
Whoa.
That was a good moment.
That's sick.
I mean, it wasn't like huge. It was a small handful of people, but it still felt good.
Love that Mall of America.
Yeah. Yeah. Little arcade there.
There are a few that I'm proud of, but like getting that challenge room in the Witness was a real pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. Platinuming Bloodborne felt good. Man.
Did you do that Dark Souls 3 Dragon solo like I ended up having to do on stream?
Which one? The puzzle.
The one at the end of the Ring City?
Madeir?
No. Oh well, I don't remember. I beat that DLC, but I don't remember.
Beating Demon Souls before Dark Souls
You
came
would
out.
remember that dragon, I think.
He's optional.
I think I did them all, but I don't know. 3 kind of blended away in my memory.
Hubert, did you have a guide?
For Demon Souls? No.
Dang,
Nice, that's good.
that's hardcore, dude.
Pre-patch.
Did you need a guide in Demon Souls?
Yes,
No.
yes.
They're just stages. You just go through.
Yeah.
The game came with a guide.
Like
I
a
remember calling Brad and being like, "What do I level up?" Stuff like that. But yeah, no, like God.
But like, there's like the dark and the light.
Oh, but I remember. Dude, that's,
Tendency?
yeah,
beat
Brad
that
and I
game.
used to talk about that as a joke, dude. We like
Yeah.
didn't know what the hell it was.
You don't need to think about world tendency
Yeah,
like
you don't
one
need it.
time unless you're trying to like get everything.
Yeah.
I'd say probably beating the original Legend of Zelda when I was very, very young. Going through that game was tough.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be extremely tough. Did you make your own map, Brad?
Yes,
Nice.
I
dude.
did do a lot of maps. You had to, man.
I always loved getting a used game at the store and then opening it up and you saw somebody else's notes, like they just
Oh my
left it in the
God, yeah.
game, and you're like, oh, I feel like we really connected here. Like I'm
Yeah, I always
seeing
used to do that.
your journey.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
pretty much any RPG, like before you were like a teenager, like looking back and like, how in the heck did I do that? Like, how
Right.
did I figure that out? And I remember games
Time.
like that were like, yeah, probably the strat was to like draw maps. You know, the ones that had like the first person dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I beat those games without ever doing anything like that. Somehow wandered my way all the way through those dungeons.
I just remember getting really excited in boss fights and RPGs in general, where like you would get by with one party member left.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like I remember Black Waltz feeling incredibly intense as a kid. All of them. All right.
I just want to say that the Toy Story 3 trophy roadmap says the difficulty is a 4 out of 10 to get the platinum.
It's better than 1, dude.
That is true. True statement.
Gotta stand up for my man Bloodworth here.
The like the difficulty for finishing Mario RPG is a 1 out of 10.
What site is this?
Just like trophy roadmaps.
like trophy guides.
Is it
Yeah, yeah.
PSN trophies? Something like that?
Yeah, something like it's like what is this? So yeah, PlayStation Trophies.org.
Mm-hmm.
4 out of 10.
Do you have that platinum?
No.
I would love to just surprise Kyle and like one night we all show him all 8 other
All our
allies, show
platinums?
him
Yeah.
all their platinums and dishes.
I don't think you know how much joy that would bring me.
That's why. There we go. Let's do
That
it.
game rules. It's a
That
really
game,
good game.
that game's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That game is legit.
Let's bring Kyle some joy.
It's so funny.
Next question is from Carl. He has 2 parts to this question, so I'm just going to do the first one, then we'll move on to the second one. With James Gunn removed from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, what are your personal top 3 choices to direct the next Guardians movie?
Christopher Nolan.
Ooh.
What are you?
I've thought about this recently, actually. Christopher Nolan, straight up.
He would make the most humorless Guardians of the Galaxy movie of all time.
He can
Nolan's got jokes.
Yeah, he can make it funny. Batman is just way more serious. So he could do it.
Ian,
Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
What, Jones?
Taika Waititi?
Taika Waititi, yeah, that'd be good.
Huber, would Guillermo be good for the job?
Guillermo's good for any job.
Okay.
Yeah, he would, dude. Like, imagine going into space and encountering other planets and other creatures. Like, oh my goodness, pure blank canvas for Guillermo.
The Witness is a 9 out of 10 without a guide.
I believe that. Holy moly!
Wait, without a guide, then what's harder?
I don't know.
Why do they differentiate with a guide?
With a guide, it's a 2 out of 10.
I mean, that makes sense.
So the platinum that Kyle got was a 2 out of 10. The platinum that I got was a 9 out of 10.
Nice. Bossman doesn't go over 5.
Yeah.
Ian, did you use a guide in any capacity for The Witness?
No.
Nice. Respect.
Professional.
I definitely did some cleanup on some things, like some of the audio puzzles.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one on the ship on the side, the like overturned puzzle that was like sound. I might have just looked up like, what the hell am I even trying to do? Because like I was at it for like an hour, and then I was like, I don't even know what's happening.
I think that's irrelevant for the platinum, though.
Yeah, you don't need that one for.
You still got your 9.
Yeah.
I think Adam McKay. What do you think? For Guardians.
I don't know who that is.
Who is that?
The Big Short.
Oh.
Okay.
That is a bold pick, dude. I like it.
I like The Big Short a lot.
Yeah, Big Short's amazing.
Yeah.
Suda 51.
Yes. I mean, that could actually work, right? If you really think about it.
Adam Sandler.
Dude.
Time to direct, Sandler.
Now's your time.
The second part of the question is, Ben, please redeem the rest of the allies. For last month's Q&A, I asked each ally's opinion on Fooly Cooly Progressive. Unfortunately, everyone that was present dropped the ball. They either haven't seen it or they didn't know it was airing. So, Ben, at the very least, please tell me you have at least seen Progressive to form some opinion, bits and pieces, or all the way through is fine with me. So I went through like kind of an up and down thing with Fooly Cooly Progressive because Adult Swim has it. I thought you had to have cable to watch it, and I don't have cable, and I wasn't going to get cable to watch it. But I just, like last night, found out that you can stream it through Adult Swim, and there's an Adult Swim app where you can watch it as well. And so I've seen the first episode of it. So there's 6 episodes. I've only seen 1, and so I don't really have much of an opinion. The music, of course, is awesome. The homeroom scene, all of the homeroom scenes I thought were like pretty funny. It didn't quite hit me as hard as Fooly Cooly originally did, but I think it's good enough to keep watching for sure. I like it.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Box quote.
I'm excited to see where they go with it. All right. Next question is from Not Jack. What is the hot take one ally has that you disagree with the most?
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Huber doesn't like trailers that are CG.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with that the most.
Sure. That's close. That's up there.
Show me the game. Why are they making shit up?
Because they're developing it.
Then don't show your game that isn't ready yet.
You don't like the Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailers?
It's a cool short film. That's not the game, though.
It's just a... Yeah.
It's
hot. It's hot.
I really believe Link to the Past is a 10 out of 10. I think it's an incredible game.
Kyle. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about Last of Us 100 times.
Yeah, Bloodborne doesn't need lip syncing. There's one. There's a hot one.
Yeah,
that's your own hot take. That's your own hot take.
He's just throwing himself.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like everything Jones says.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the level of Link to the Past, but I think Nier Automata is really, really good.
Nah.
I disagree with Kyle on the opening level of Super Mario World is a bad opening level.
Me too.
Dang. It's I guess it's a good sign of our group that like because we do disagree, but like it's hard to come up with them on the spot. Like in the moment, I'm like, "You're crazy," but
Oh,
right
we
now,
got a
I'm
good
like,
right.
eh.
Ian, we got a good one.
What?
Ian and I disagree with all of these.
Oh, right, yes.
Shadow of the Colossus or
No,
Last Guardian.
I was just gonna bring that up.
That is the hottest take of all time. That game is garbage, and it's our game of the year from that year. That is
game-
like a travesty.
That game belongs in the trash. That game has no qualities.
Yes,
Okay.
that
It
game.
has no qualities at all.
Oh, okay, then.
That game is
I just thought it was
10-year-old
okay.
hot garbage.
My take is I disagree with that then.
I like the bloom lighting effects and the
That's a quality, baby.
environments. Yeah, yeah. So put it like next to the
Recycle it.
trash. Yeah, recycle it. Sell it. Get your money back.
I mean, it's not that hot of a take or anything, but sometimes Huber and Brad, when they get into games with deep combat systems, and they're like, "Oh, you can just mash this one button and get through the whole game." I'm like,
Would you happen to be talking about
Name
The
names,
Witcher,
Blood. We know what game you're talking
it's
about.
not just The Witcher, though. Like they say it like plenty of different times, like other games that come up.
Shadow of Mordor, that is true.
You can.
That is true.
All right, you got me on The Witcher. I used 2 buttons. I used Quinn.
And attack. Yeah.
I beat that game on Death March, Blood. Don't tell me otherwise.
But I don't even know how, because I do that kind of thing and I just start breaking weapons and like.
You got to put oils on everything. It's absurd. Batman, you can probably just do that, right?
Batman.
No, he makes you press
triangle, square, X.
Yeah.
No,
Arkham Knight, you have a
Okay.
lot of things
All
you
right,
need
all
to
right,
do.
all right.
You have a lot.
But it's
Near
like a rhythm
Automata,
game.
you can just push jump and then attack and win.
Batman's like following cues. It's like, okay, now I'm supposed to press
Yeah,
circle,
yeah.
now I'm supposed to press square.
It's like a rhythm game.
Yeah. When they take games with really deep combat systems and then they just say you can just press square. That's so funny, dude.
I love the salt. The salt just inherent in the explanation.
Because I mean, you want to see it, right? When somebody makes a claim like that, you want to be like, okay, well, then do it. Then go through the whole game doing exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
But Brad will do it, though. I believe Brad can win just pressing square and quint.
I believe that'd be a good stream.
Yeah.
I'm not beating that whole game. So long.
I feel like we'd get the idea after like an hour or two. Be like, all right. Well, I guess time moves differently in The Witcher, so you'd need like 15 hours for like 1 hour of a normal game.
Good burn. Good burn.
Yikes.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna move on.
Before the
Next one comes in from Shadow. He says, "Are there any games that you've played that you didn't care for but went back to later and fell in love with? I originally
Yes.
played Metal Gear Solid 2. Same with me. I wasn't familiar with the series and rented the game at Blockbuster thinking it looked like a fun action game. I didn't appreciate it as a kid, but when I went back later with the understanding of what it was trying to be, I fell in love."
Dark Souls.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of missed that one because Hangouts was doing all kinds of weird things that time.
You didn't hear the question or what?
No, because I was trying to troubleshoot what was happening.
Are there any games you went back to later and you didn't like them at first, but when you went back, you liked them?
I feel like there is. I
Yeah.
remember what that is.
Nah.
No. Still hate him.
Still hate him or still love him?
I mean, for me, it usually
one
is pretty
shot.
quick.
I wouldn't say I hated it at the time. I would not use that language. I would say I liked it, but I remember playing Jet Set Radio initially and just not being able to get through it, like not being able to really wrap my head around how that game controlled and being able to handle like things like the police coming after me. And so I remember that being immensely frustrating, but like revisiting it and being a little bit more capable, I think I had a greater appreciation of it. Okay, we're pretty quiet on this one.
Yeah, Carol, I think
Yeah, I like it's. There's something in the back of my head that's like, yeah, this happened, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, me too.
The
Maybe, like-
Monster Hunter series counts for me, Ben, I guess.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, I don't really know about this.
But World
Like,
is so different, dude.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I doubt it would have happened without World.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd be curious. I mean, maybe. I'd be curious what you think of Generations Ultimate, Brad.
Yeah.
If you dig
I
it.
think playing on the handheld, I never liked playing Monster Hunter on a handheld.
Sure.
I think just a big TV helps a lot.
Yeah.
The controller.
Yeah, I hear you. I started with it on a handheld, so it kind of was
Sure.
handheld to me, but yeah. All right. Supernova asked our next question. If you guys think of any others that you came around on, let me know. After the last Hall of Great stream, I want to recommend a potential change to the rules or propose a particular exception specifically for Grand Theft Auto. I propose that you allow Jones to bring GTA as an anthology as a contender into the Hall of the Greats discussions.
Next question.
Yeah, next.
You gotta
Yeah,
finish
it's like a crutch.
Instead of being forced to select a single game from the series, the reason I'm proposing this is simply due to the unique nature of GTA. The overall tone and gameplay of GTA does not change from game to game. The core mechanics of fun do not change from game to game. What does change is the technological advancement in the gaming industry as a whole, which makes the latest version the best optimal version. It is because of this that my argument for any particular GTA is plagued by the impending sequel, which will generally be the same style of game, just more impressive from a technical perspective. Any singular GTA game will age poorly in Hall of Greats because of this. To overcome that unfair detraction due to the unavoidable future, the indoctrination of the anthology of GTA will allow the series to remain ageless and represent what is really being inducted into the Hall of Greats. The concept of GTA-style games, not a specific GTA game in particular. If the allies don't agree with my proposal, then Jones, just bring GTA Vice City next time. It retains the core of what GTA is. It's differentiated well enough from the top-down predecessors, has significant cultural impact, and is draped in gamer nostalgia. Just an idea.
Thank you for the idea. I'm retiring GTA temporarily from Hall of Greats, going on a GTA vacation. But yeah, I think getting into franchise talk is sticky because it's
You can make that argument for so many other franchises.
For everything,
Right,
yeah.
yeah,
I bring
yeah.
all of
Gotta
Final
be specific.
Fantasy.
gotta
Yeah.
balance the yeah.
There's something for everyone in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I'm not opposed to anybody just bringing a concept to Hall of Greats, and if it wins, it wins. Like if somebody said, "I'm bringing the D-pad," I'd be cool with it. I'd hear that person out.
Today I bring to
Say
you
that
jumping.
to Ian for
Yeah.
bringing
Let me tell you.
I'm the one who allowed it. I was the one who said,
Yeah,
bring it."
and they didn't go for it, Kyle. They were
It's a
ruthless.
risk. Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if the D-pad would get votes. You know, it's really about what you think people will vote for,
It's
and
scary
like,
being a trailblazer.
I know for sure GTA Anthology would not get votes. We would be too uptight about it.
Kyle, what do you like more, the D-pad or shoulder buttons?
I'd let D-pad in first, but I love shoulder buttons. I'd give shoulder buttons a one vote, dude.
Yeah.
Get a point.
GameCube best shoulder buttons?
Dude, super good. The Z though, the Z button
Yeah.
freaks me out sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm with you. But those L&R, man,
Super.
They're very good.
that click.
That spring. You're just pushing in a spring. It feels
Yeah.
so good.
You ever just like mash on that just because it feels good? Mm-hmm. All right, Raymond asks, fried chicken or steak?
Steak.
Chicken.
I would go with steak.
Really?
I think.
Yeah, I'm with you, Blood. I go steak. Chicken's good though. Amanda would definitely go steak every time. Or chicken. Amanda's a crazy fan of chicken. It's her favorite.
steak on a day-to-day, but fried chicken once in a while. Ooh.
Fried chicken for sure. I always felt bad when like my dad would get and make a nice like expensive steak, and it's like this is supposed to be a treat, and then it's just like juicy plain meat. You know, I just don't like steak. Just plain meat.
I have no qualms with dipping sauces, Kyle.
Yeah,
Get
get
some
the steak
A1
sauce
in
on
there.
there.
Okay,
Also,
all right, I hear you
If
now.
you get a steak at a good steakhouse, I mean, I haven't eaten beef in like 15 years, or 9, but like, yeah, oh man, it's the best.
Yeah, I think there's just way more tiers to steak than there's to fried chicken.
Right. Fried chicken is either bad or good, whereas steak, yeah, there's a gradient.
Mm-hmm.
Silent consonant.
Plain meat. So good. Dude, I love that you brought that up because I always feel so awkward asking for steak sauce at like a steak place.
Why?
I
Well,
feel like
it's
they're
steak.
looking down on me. Like the chef
They
is going
are.
to be pissed because it's like my meat's not good enough for you. You need some like third party sauce.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I feel awkward.
It's
not
interesting.
Dude, that is some strong headcanon there, man.
What kind of steak?
Because I've
places-
worked, dude, man, when you work in restaurants, man, like chefs get upset about this kind of thing. They
Yeah.
really do.
They're interesting. One of our favorite restaurants nearby called Jelena. It says on the menu, it's like everything is served as is. We're not touching anything in any way. Sorry, order something else. Like,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. It's one of the best restaurants I've ever been to, so it's kind of hard to argue with. But yeah, some restaurants. are very
That's what
adamant.
they say, that the difference between a chef and a cook, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Cook will make what you want. A chef, no, it's like he's got it down.
I guess the way that I think about it is if you're paying money for food, you should get to enjoy it how you want to enjoy it. And
Exactly.
that's the service that you're paying for. And so if you want to put steak sauce on your steak, I don't see how that could upset you if the person is paying to enjoy it, let them enjoy it how they want.
Exactly.
The irony there is that with a restaurant, the more you pay, the less control you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if
Yeah.
you're paying
That's true.
$6 for a steak, you can do whatever the hell you want. If you're paying $45 for a steak, you're getting what they give you.
Yeah.
Ben, it's weird. It's like I think at a certain point you respect your food like art. You know what I mean? Like, I think you could make the same argument where like I want a Star Wars where Luke Skywalker lives, and it's just like I'm paying for this. I deserve the Star Wars that I want. You know what I mean? So I think like you have that level of respect for the food that you're making.
Yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from, and I get what Ian is saying, where like at a certain point you're kind of paying for that distinctness of that restaurant.
Yeah.
But I think there are a bunch of restaurants where it's like add whatever you want, you know? Like we know that that we're not trying to sell you the greatest steak of all time.
Sometimes you gotta just take matters into your own hands and bring some barbecue sauce to Raising Cane's.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Here's my thing is like Raising Cane's or like Outback Steakhouse, like, yeah, that's not art, you know, that's just a chain, you know, whatever. But like if you're going to En Naka, like you don't, you know, change how she's doing your Japanese food, you know? Because
I
it's
just
like,
think about it like we're a service, right? And if somebody is like, hey, I'm paying you guys and I don't like this person, so I don't watch what they do, like whatever, that's not offensive. You have the right to make that choice.
except
And
by
if
and
you
large, we get, why is this part of this channel? I'm
We
gonna
do get
quit
that.
if you don't change. And I'm like, do you
Yeah.
watch everything do you watch everything on HBO?
I think there's a difference between like choosing to do something or not doing something and demanding that
Yeah.
the place change. Like that I'm not on board with. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Okay.
Let's go to Raising Cane's.
I've
All
never
right.
been. I want to go.
I got
I
some
went
cold
to it.
Raising Cane's and it was still good.
It was all right. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Damn. Okay. I got to look up where the closest Raising Cane's to me is.
When we were at VidCon, my friend was like, "We're going to Raising Cane's," and like I had never been, so I thought because you guys talk about it so much and it's been so hyped, I thought it was like a restaurant, like where I was gonna like sit down, and you know. But I was like, "Oh, it's a fast food place." Like I didn't even know because like
Because of how highly regarded it is.
how highly regarded you guys regard it, yeah. And I was like, "Oh, okay, it's like In-N-Out or something." Got
What'd
it.
you do at VidCon?
Editing. edited stuff for Comedy Central.
Oh, so you didn't like go to cover it or anything?
No, I mean I went onto the floor and I was like, well, this place is weird.
I imagine it would be.
Lots of kids.
I was
imagine
at
lots of kids.
Comic-Con editing for MTV. I went on the floor for 20 minutes and I was like, all right, too busy, too much.
It'd be a good, easy update, though, you know?
Oh, I don't even know if
All
it
right.
would. Because it's like, for me, Comic-Con, you get information from the panels, which you can hear online, and I'm not interested in buying stuff. So being there doesn't really have a draw for me.
Most of the panels are not online.
You hear the news, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to watch a panel. I just want to hear, like, OMFG, this is in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, cool. You know?
Yeah.
That's how I like to digest most news, in, like, as short a format as possible.
Yeah, that's all of us.
I don't want analysis. I just want hard facts.
Next one comes in from Silent Consonant. He says, hey all, it's been a while. Keeping my first question back simple. I just started playing Mega Man X again for what feels like the 100th time and got the Hadoken this morning. And so with that in mind, what is your favorite retro game secret?
Oh.
I think Hunk and Tofu are pretty damn good.
That's a good one, yeah.
The guy with the dog in Super Castlevania 4, to bring it back around, who, if you kill the dog, he goes over and cries and then evaporates.
Oh, whoa.
And you got to like tear open the floor to get down to him.
I mean, yeah, Castlevania. I mean, obviously, Inverted Castle is not much of a secret, but getting the Crusagram drop is pretty cool in the Inverted Castle too. Yeah.
Yeah, not much of a secret, but I've always liked that craziness with Mario Brothers 3, where you just like hold down and you drop into the background.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. You can only do that some places, right?
Yeah, there's specific levels that you can do it. Yeah.
So good.
The Naboo fighter hiding in the N64
Oh.
Rogue Squadron. It's pretty cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was so
Can you
good.
fly it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And what was cool is it was in that game before it was even public, the Naboo fighter, before anyone had seen it.
Oh.
And nobody just knew the code. Nobody tried out that code. And
That
so
wouldn't work
after it was
today.
revealed, they were like, here's the code.
Yeah, they would data mine it. That's so cool.
In the same vein, but it doesn't count because it's a movie. But I always loved in Monsters Inc. when at the very end, when he's like trying to tell her that he's going to leave, she runs up to him with some toy. I think it's Jessie from Toy Story. And he's like, okay, this is nice. And then she brings by Nemo, and Nemo hadn't, we didn't get a trailer for Nemo for like another year.
Whoa.
And so no one at the time, they're like, oh, cute fish. And then like you go back and watch it 2 years later and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like I had to like look at the timeline and I was like, wow, that's cool. They must have like just approved what he
I
looked like.
love stuff like that. Like foreshadowing where you don't even realize until
Yeah.
later. Oh, that's so cool.
The Arkham City tease in Arkham Asylum. It's
Arkham
phenomenal.
Asylum is retro now?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Is that retro, dude?
Retro.
No.
Oh,
way.
I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
But I like wonder, it's 10
Yeah,
years
what
plus,
qualifies?
right? Like,
Yeah, what qualifies?
We're getting
Yeah, it's old, dude. That's yeah.
It's not.
okay.
The Switch is sitting in the next gen all by itself.
That's
PS4
true.
And the Xbox One to catch up. Next gen, baby.
Yeah, because he was concurrent with.
One of my favorite secrets is the secret like that we all knew first is in Mario, the 1-2 where you run up on the ceiling and there's the 3 pipes to the different warp worlds.
yeah.
Good pick.
Classic.
I'm trying to think of like, because I mean, like Talos Principle has like a million secrets. Obviously not retro. I'm just trying to think of where's Damiani when you need him, like
Yeah.
stuff like that where it's like there's a Pink Floyd room in this game or whatever, you know.
But it's not
Oh,
only that Damiani knows the secrets, is that he's like not only surprised that you know it, but is like not even excited about the secrets anymore.
Yeah.
I remember finding out about like the backward jump from Mario Brothers, where you like do and then you slide through the wall. And I was like, oh, I never heard about this. And he's just showing it to me like, yeah, that's what you do. You know, like that's really cool. It's like, yeah, you know.
What's that line? You either become the hero or live long enough to become the villain or whatever.
Yeah.
I always really thought it was cool how they did the room in Chrono Trigger with all the developers. Their little
Yeah.
Oh
messages.
yeah.
That's a good one.
No.
Oh,
What?
I hate developers in video games, Blood. Never want to
It's
see
okay.
them.
We know you do.
what about the one in
about
Doom
time
2?
travels and dimension flipping though, so it's like, you know.
Oh yeah, Doom had some good ones, right?
Doom 2, the head, right? Can't you shoot his head in the secret room?
John Romero's?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Romero's
I think
head.
so, yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
the one where you have that has like a developer room that's like hidden away? Or
It's his head, yeah.
I think Portal has one like that too. Oh
Next,
man.
oops,
Games are
sorry.
great. Oh, it's just games are great.
Yeah, good way to end any question, I think.
Well, dog ending in Silent Hill 2.
Oh, that's a good
hilarious.
pick.
Like all the extra endings and stuff in Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top 10 retro secrets would be fun.
Ooh. Hard as hell to
Hard as hell to
perform.
capture. Yeah, hard as hell to capture. All right. Excuse me.
Speaking of which, you guys write those and voice it, so I can cut it.
Right after this, for sure.
Okay.
I have like a sentence left.
This is our dirty laundry. You get
In
it?
fact,
Here
Please
live.
please write all of them so that I can.
Yeah, actually, after I get the next review done, I wanted to catch up on all those.
Yeah. Anyway,
I really like our next list a lot. I think it'll be fun.
it's amazing.
Huber just freaking out about like writing his entry in Slack was pretty good.
Yes.
Oh, what are they gonna think of this one?
Next one comes in from Michael. He says, "Hey, Allies, how do you feel about the Steelbook game cases? On a recent episode of Frame Trap, Ben and Huber mentioned that game packaging these days aren't what they used to be, and it's one of the reasons there's less of a desire for physical collections. I agree 100% about normal packaging, but the artwork done for Steelbook cases usually makes for great eye candy. There's not a ton of them.
I got the Persona 5 one.
Yeah.
And I just got the Dragon's Crown one a little bit ago. That one's sweet.
Yeah, I'm not against Steelbook cases. They're cool. They look good. Still want
Yeah.
heavy manuals back, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Like, if games had cool manuals again, then it would be amazing. I'm off physical, basically. I'm all digital now.
Have there been any Steelbook Switch cases?
No.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I can't think of any. But I don't know. Like, it's cool when it like happens, like Persona 5. It was just like the first run of games or whatever. Pretty much all of them were Steelbook, but I don't go out of my way for them.
exactly. Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's cool when I happen to get them, but I don't make it a priority to get them. I know some people do, and that's great. But yeah, I appreciate that they do that though, because there are some people that really like Steelbook cases, and so definitely serve those people. And another thing that I actually really like quite a lot, I feel more affection to than Steelbook cases, is reversible covers. I like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And always appreciate when a publisher goes out of their way to add that little bit of extra flavor. Like the Sonic Mania Plus reversible cover, they model it like a Genesis box. And I think that's so cool and just such a fun touch and fits the vibe of that game really well.
Yeah, I have this Steelbook for The Witcher 3 that they sent with the review copy that's completely useless to me now. Because it only works on a debug and there was no way to patch it,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I just had an idea for like a story where, let's say someone, Kyle, whatever, is curmudgeonly about Steelbook cases, but then like someone buys them a Steelbook case as a gift and they just slip it in their breast pocket. And then toward the end of the story, they get shot, but the Steelbook case saves their life. And then at the end, they take it out and they're just like, thank you. Like, you saved my life with the Steelbook.
So I had a Steelbook case for Persona 5 because it was the same price on Amazon.
Yeah.
Returning it at GameStop, the guy's like, I don't know what this is, because he like scanned it and it like didn't work. He's like, we can't take this. And I'm like, it's Persona 5. It's like, really? This isn't what Persona 5 looks like. It's like that's the Steelbook for it. And he's like, okay. And then he finally like did take it. You know what I mean?
That would have
just
just
manually
like 5
Persona
seconds to
5.
look up.
Sorry?
It would've
Did
taken
you
like
not have the
5 seconds
plastic
to look
thing that
up.
went over top of it?
No, it did not.
Okay.
So all I had was the Steelbook.
I think that plastic slip is where the barcode or whatever is.
That
Yeah.
is so funny.
That's really dumb.
I don't know what this is.
Right.
Okay, if you say so.
Is this from Etsy?
Sure.
That would have
Yeah,
been
so
a
all
great
the junk
story.
is on the plastic.
Sure.
It says Persona 5 right on it, though.
I know, man. I know.
This doesn't look like Persona 5.
And you had the disc in it, right? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
If anything, it should be worth more.
He ended up
Yeah.
taking it.
I hope that like he opens it up and there's Toy Story 3 inside. That's how I want that story to end.
That's like my Robin Hood deeds is I take Persona 5s and return them as Persona 3.
It's pretty good. All right. Next one comes in from Christian. Greetings from Norway. Greetings. I've been a patron for some time now, and I really enjoy your content. My question, what are your best summer gaming memories?
Cool question.
This one's gonna make me sound like a crazy person. But when we would go on vacations in like middle school and early high school, my dad had like this like little portable generator, and so in the back seat, I remember playing like Final Fantasy IV. One time I played Halo 2 co-op with a friend. So we would just set up like this little TV and consoles as we would drive to wherever we were vacationing.
Ben,
And
that is not crazy. I used to do the same thing.
did you really?
Yeah, we had
That's
one
awesome.
of those converters. You plugged it into the car.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we tried doing it on my friend's Geo though, but the car wasn't strong enough to power the TV and the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I did PS2 and Xbox and GameCube, I think.
Wow.
My friend and I used to camp in our backyard, and we would set up in my backyard, and we would set up like I remember we had must have been a PlayStation 1, right? Because that's what Gran Turismo first came out on. Yeah, we'd play PlayStation 1, and we would listen to. I didn't even like it that much, but we'd listen to Smashing Pumpkins' "Adore," and we would just camp outside for days, like weeks at a time. But like we would just go inside, when we wanted to.
Ian, that sounds like a better time to just live.
Ridiculous.
Is you there?
Yeah.
I would do a lot of grinding, like RPGs, in the basement during the summer. The basement is the only tolerable place because it's the only cool place in the whole house. And I would just play RPGs all day long. I play a lot of Digimon World. One that I really like a lot, though, is my one friend, we're home for the summer. I have a Wii, and we played through Resident Evil 4 together. Because this is during college. And so, like during college, you kind of fall apart from your friends, you kind of drift apart. But during the summer, you're still around the same place. And so, like being able to connect and just go through Resident Evil 4 like all in 2 days was awesome. Really loved that.
We did that with Final Fantasy X too. My friend and I have talked about that before, though.
I didn't know that was college years, though.
Well, whenever that game came out, I think it was college. We were just in the basement drinking Capri Suns for like 4 days.
Summertime, baby.
Yeah.
I stuck around in the summer when I was at Emerson College in Boston because I was like 2 credits shy because I got confused. I could have taken 2 classes at the same time, but I thought I had to separate them by semesters. So I was 2 credits behind. And so I was like, oh, I'll stick around for summer school. And it happened to be that my friend was directing a production of Into the Woods, which I was a big fan of. And so I was like, oh, I'll be in that show, so I'll stick around. And Boston just like evaporates during summer. It's really, really, really hot there. And like all of the college students go home. And so it's just like a weird, totally different city. So it's just like this really lonely city. I didn't have a lot of friends there other than the people I was doing a show with. And I roomed in the same dorm, but with like a bunch of people that I didn't know. But none of it mattered because that was the summer The Perfect Dark came out. I just remember being like cooped up in my dorm room, just like hustling through that. And
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did your theater friends play split screen with you?
Only a couple of them were into games.
Oh,
That's where I met my the guy directed Into the Woods was my buddy Todd, who wrote a lot of the retros.
Yeah.
cool.
Or co-wrote a lot of the retros.
What'd you do in Into the Woods?
I was the prince and the wolf. I was Cinderella's prince. I was the Chris Pine character.
Do you have a video of that, dude?
He's probably got a video of it. He actually did the costumes too, and I forgot to wear my tail when as the wolf when we shot the video, and he's never forgiven me ever since. I was like, no, it's cool. I only designed that costume from the ground up, and you missed an essential piece. It's fine. I was like, sorry. There's a quick costume change. I just forgot it. Just that one night. Just that one night.
I was gonna say,
the
you know,
night that we were taping.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got two that come to mind. One of them, when I was a teenager and I was at camp, and I can't remember if this was a year when I was just a camper or when I was working at the camp, but I want to say it was when I was working at the camp. And one of the other guys, like he was like the son of the camp director or whatever, and so we just like drove over to their house.
Oh no!
Strikes again.
No.
Bud, stop.
My God.
It sounded weird because it sounded like it went like robot bad internet for a second and then stopped.
Ah.
Nope.
Imagine if we were like on the radio and dead air was bad.
Oh yeah. Here it's coveted.
We'd be lucky because you're the master of filling that dead air. We have you, Kyle. We're lucky to have you because you're the dead air master. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hubert, it's one of my dreams to do radio. Isn't that nuts?
Really?
I could see it so clearly, Kyle.
And I feel like we get more people to listen to our stuff than like small market radio stations do.
Mm-hmm.
Like we actually do have more listeners, but for some reason I still romanticize the radio.
Dude, let's start a radio show.
Can we get an AM station?
Maybe we could actually. I wonder what it would take.
Let's get an AM station.
Just run our podcast constantly.
I'll look into it.
That's so
I'll look
hype.
into it.
Can we do what we normally do and also traffic reports?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I would love to do traffic reports.
But we have to cut live to
sports.
Ben sitting in traffic.
Yeah,
He's like on the
Yeah.
freeway.
that'd be great. Way down with that.
And it's just always about how late we are to various shoots.
Yeah. It's just the
lots up
405.
on the 405 today.
Yeah, it's 405 every time.
Yeah. 405 is bad. I'm a half hour late to the podcast.
Accident in the carpool lane. Look out as you're coming in at the 3 o'clock hour.
Testing.
Got him.
You
Back.
got me?
Yeah.
Okay. What the heck?
What was the
Look
fix
here.
that time?
Just logging in and out.
Yeah, it's not just my mic. It's like dropping Hangouts altogether. I lose you guys too and stuff.
You'll never.
So I don't know what the deal is with that.
Damiani would grumble about Windows 10 here.
Maybe it's just strange. Like we've only had that in like the past week or two that this has happened.
Yeah. I'm on Windows 10, Damiani. Everything's fine.
What
Summer
where did
memories.
Yeah, but what did you last hear?
Something about a car?
You're a counselor at a camp or something like that.
Oh,
I was working at a camp, and one of the other guys, he was like the camp director's son, so he lived right around the corner. And so we just like went over to his house and played Star Fox 64 multiplayer. And that was like one of the first like 4-player multiplayer games that like anyone had ever played. And so we had a lot of fun doing that. And then the other one that came to mind was when Super Mario Sunshine came out in Japan. The director of Planet GameCube, Billy Berghammer, he arranged with the importer that we were partners with for like everyone on staff to get a copy of Sunshine.
Nice.
And like we all like went in together, like building up this huge guide on GameFAQs before the US release.
Whoa.
That's Viku.
Not even for your own website?
Well, I mean, it was on our website too, but it was also on GameFAQs.
Cool.
And we got emails back from people for years, like thanking us for writing the guide. It was crazy.
I'm going to see how many stars you have.
Look it up.
Sleepovers in the summer were the culmination. Sleeping over at Brad's house and vice versa.
A lot of
Yes.
Smash. At least
Yeah,
lot of
Brent, I was
Smash,
just gonna
a
ask,
lot
did
of
you guys
Mario
play
Party.
Smash
Yeah.
at the sleepovers? Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
So much
Yes.
Smash. Just all night Smash
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
and Mario Party.
Yeah.
A lot of Mario Party.
GoldenEye always in there too.
GoldenEye, of course.
I remember playing WCW versus NWO at a sleepover.
So
and that was
fun.
awesome.
So
And
fun.
Combat
Dude.
Troops on PS1.
Yes.
We had a very good time with that. And Spyro. We were way into Spyro 1.
Nice.
Yo, when's that Spyro collection?
Didn't it get delayed?
Ah,
No way it got delayed.
bummer. I'm
I
so
think it's
ready for that.
September, right?
I'm ready for it.
I didn't hear about it getting delayed, but I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that might be that. I don't want to give you false information here.
Some headcanon right there.
Yeah, that might be some headcanon. I'm doing a
I'm
quick
in the
search.
dream.
In the credits of the FAQ, Daniel Bloodworth wrote the Blue Coin Guide, comma, bless his soul.
Ooh,
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's
Blood,
sick.
you got a full dot, but you're not the most popular guide.
Oh, I mean, I never
In
assumed that
fact,
we
it's
were
near the bottom.
the
You're beneath C. Moriarty. Is that Colin Moriarty?
that
Wrote
is
a guide?
Colin Moriarty.
Yeah,
For
probably.
sure.
Man, that's funny. His is more popular.
IGN, baby.
Don't talk about him. Gonna get in trouble.
Next question from MGS Junkie. When EZA becomes as big as IGN, what roles do you see yourselves in? Will you be involved more in shows, less involved, or like behind the scenes? Keep it the flawless work, guys, and never stop being you.
Retired.
Traffic reports.
Jones, did you say retired?
On a beach.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Man, all right.
I'll be in charge of the vending machine.
Ooh.
I would want us to be like an evil shadow council that like new employees aren't even sure exist.
Yeah, I want to be like Kingsman, where like you walk into a room and it's just Kyle, but like little does he know the glasses that Kyle is wearing lets
Yeah.
him see the rest of us.
Yeah.
Kyle at a desk talking to himself.
And we all live like in crazy different places in the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
I just imagine that most of us would probably do essentially what Jones did at game trailers, and we would just like give all the day-to-day work to somebody else, and we would just write things and produce
Yeah,
things.
to produce features.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds wonderful.
It's weird. Like I just said, like I romanticize radio. Like I'd want to do that. I don't romanticize anything about IGN in a weird way.
No, not at all. I wouldn't want that for us really. Like
Yeah. I
that
agree
level
with
of success, like and reach, maybe sure, but like it's just not our model.
The events always sway me. I always get moved by the event stuff that they do, just because seeing that Comic-Con, the fact that they can go and set up like a studio better than the studio we're gonna get, and then take it down. You know, like
Right.
literally, like
Yeah.
this amazing production space exists for like a week and then gone.
But here's the thing, Jones.
That's pretty cool.
I wouldn't want to be responsible for any aspect of that.
No, well,
Yeah.
you can hire contractors.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to hire a contractor.
Well, we don't have to.
But it's like, what is my role in IGN? What is my role of like that
a pretty
level?
face. A pretty face.
All right,
Like we're
Okay.
the ones we come and sit on and talk.
Yep.
sure. I'll be the pretty face of IGN.
I want to do color commentary for Kyle's radio show.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Wait, what if your radio show is just commentating on Kyle's radio show?
I come on after.
And he's like kind of genuine. Like this part's good.
Yeah.
This is good.
This part's good. I was pretty bored throughout.
Oh, they're bringing this back.
Oh, they're doing Desire Index again?
Yeah.
This is good.
I mean, like, I want us to grow and be more successful and all of that jazz, but I don't know. I like being small too,
Yeah.
being intimate.
Well, there, like I brought this up before, but there's that weird shift that happened with our reviews, where like 6 or 9 months into Defy, where it was like it didn't make sense for me to continue doing freelance reviews because people just were watching us, and it's like, well, who's this guy doing this review? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Whereas that's normal for a publication. You just get a review out on time, no matter who you have to hire.
Right.
I'll say I'm way more jealous of Rooster Teeth than IGN. Rooster Teeth does a ton of original series. You know, I'm super jealous of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll buy us someday.
Highly doubt it.
highly doubt it. I think the one thing that we have to say is that like once we hit a certain success threshold, we all have to turn evil. We all have to be evil then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Halfway there.
Yeah,
We gotta be
it's
the-
kinda,
We gotta
Like,
be the Patriots.
yeah. If the Patreon ever gets above 100,000, like then we just flip over and we're just pure evil.
How do we turn evil?
Oh, probably like robotics. A lot
Hmm.
of like robotics, genetic engineering kind of stuff.
We all have red eyes.
I think if
Yeah.
you gave Huber robotics, that would make him more good. Like, he'd be into that, right? Like you cybernetic enhancements.
Yeah,
the one
give
who
me
has
some
to stop.
Terminator arm.
Yeah, he's the one who has to stop the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think we all, for some reason, I imagine we all have long eyelashes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're all very pleasant, and that's how you know we're evil.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And suddenly, like all of us are just very pleasant,
Just
and we have
all
long
smiles.
eyelashes.
We all stop saying collectively. It's really creepy. Very eloquent and well thought out opinions. We no longer take any sort of feedback comments on any of our shows. The Q&A
All comments are
no Q&A anymore. No Q&A.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Ready for the last question?
Whoa!
The last
I'm not
question.
ready. I was not prepared. Actually, let's do this.
Yeah, look at this. We're 201. There's two parts to this. I'm going to read both. It's from Michael. If you won $500 million, would you still be working at Easy Allies? Persona 5 was Rob.
Each or total?
Just you.
Each of us. If we each got $500 million, would you still be working at Easy Allies? Or I
500
guess
million?
500 million.
Yes.
I thought it was just one person.
Yeah,
Like,
I think you might be right, Blood. I think it's just like imagine a scenario where you were the one to get $500.
Oh,
Yes.
I think that's
Yes.
yeah. I think I still would.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I would too.
Mhm.
Wait, are you saying yes that you would or yes you wouldn't?
I would.
I would
would as
still
well.
be.
Yeah.
I think I probably
Probably.
would.
I think I probably would too.
I
I mean,
might-
maybe my capacity would change a little bit, but like,
Yeah. I might like move to some crazy place and then fly in once a week or something.
Yeah.
What's your crazy place, bud? Yeah, what do
I
you
don't know
imagine?
at the moment, but
He parachutes in.
I would definitely like, I would want to disappear for like 4 days and then come back looking just totally different, like, and like call everyone babe all the time. Great question, babe.
Hey, babe.
Like you have red eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
500 million, you could get a small castle of some kind, right?
No. Nick Cage tried it and it didn't work out for him. You need more
could
than that.
buy it, but you'd go broke maintaining it the year after.
Yeah.
Sure. So you just have to build a house that sort of feels like a castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mini castle.
Like 500 million you could buy, you could outright buy like a decent house in a nice area of LA and still be set for life. You know, like you could buy a $5 million house outright. And
I
that's
see.
still enough to
Here's the
live.
thing. I think you could do a lot of change. I think you could actually do change with $500 million. And so I think
Like
if
in
I'm
your own
choosing to
life?
be active with my 500 mil, like there's no way you could still do Easy Allies. It'd almost be irresponsible because you could be doing more good with your money if you're not focused on Easy Allies. But also I feel like I could give 400 to like the Bill Gates Foundation and feel good about myself.
Well, I mean, if you have that kind of money, then like, yeah, you actually like set up an account that like
Yeah.
earns more money through it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm
the
like
better thing to
wondering
do
if I
is-
should be a philanthropist, if I should use my money to like become like make a positive impact on this planet before I go, you know?
What if you just give it all away and then come back to Easy Allies?
Yeah.
But like giving it away is,
Yeah, you can do
is
both.
actually less responsible. Like you could set up a fund that earns back on that money and then give like $200,000 a year for longer or whatever. You know, like if you're responsible with it, you can do more good on the long term.
Structure it out.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty tempting to like fulfill each of your individual ambitions. Like I would let Huber meet Bowser, for instance.
Yes.
At long last.
Yeah.
Like, they create a Bowser.
Yeah. That's what I would want to do with the
See,
money.
genetic engineering. We're
It'd
even.
bring me the most joy.
Who's the guy you grabbed and mutate into Bowser, though? You know,
Vin Diesel.
Vin
He's a
Diesel.
hard
Vin
question.
Diesel.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, he's expendable. We can
Bowser.
Bowser.
Awesome.
You slide a check over, says 100 mil. He's like, I'm in.
Yeah. I'll be whatever the hell you want me to be.
What are you gonna do to me? Don't worry about it, Vin.
You cast The Rock as Mario.
Yeah.
Speed.
Wait, are there musical numbers involved?
Say that again.
Are there musical numbers involved?
Oh,
Didn't Moana,
definitely,
dude.
definitely. Hugh Jackman has a cameo.
Okay.
Wait, are you guys talking about a movie or like actually turning someone into Bowser?
We are turning Vin Diesel into Bowser.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I think we might as well make a movie if we're turning Vin Diesel into Bowser.
Yeah, sure. As long as there's like freakish, horrible science happening, I'm all about it.
Cool. All right. I think that's a good note to end on.
He's still the same character in Fast and the Furious, but he has his Bowser body suddenly.
Yeah.
Wait,
still
why does he
does
fit in the
fit.
car?
Yeah.
Never addressed. And he drives a giant monster truck now.
Yeah, or convertible.
I have a baby boy now. It's just like a weird Bowser face.
Whoa.
So yeah, like if you had like 500 million invested, like you would still be making like tens of millions just on interest every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the dream.
but what I love is I love the immediate impact you could make with $500 million. You know what I mean? You could save a country.
You could buy a country.
Yeah.
Which country we want to buy?
But I also get the idea of like, hey, it's sustainable this way. It wouldn't be just a one-off and you're gone. I get that.
I think that's the better way to do it. Like, yeah, live on interest yourself and then use the rest for like impacting the world.
I mean, 1 year of interest would pay for everything you need for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what about other people's needs, blood?
Right.
That's what I mean. You have the rest of that money.
Yeah.
That way.
No, you put the rest of that money in the bank to make your interest.
Yeah, but like you're making so much interest then that you spend $1 million on yourself like a year and then like 12 million on like building homeless shelters every year.
Like a $500 million donation to like cancer research would like speed it up, right? They would find a cure like a few
No,
years
it still
early.
take
Maybe?
years of development.
That is
It would have to help, like.
But like
speed it up.
on that scale, that's like a drop in the bucket. Like I think the better thing to do would be like local change.
Or Ian, like what you were talking about with this disease that was cured by one rich man who had a child that had it. You know what I mean?
Right. Pick one that's just underfunded, and then that you could do.
Yeah.
Cancer is like so huge that 500 million is like almost nothing. But like with like spinal muscular atrophy, like you could like I don't know how much it cost him, but like you could find a very good vaccine or whatever for something like that. Yeah. I wonder. It's interesting.
Alzheimer's.
Buying a lotto ticket tonight.
I think if Jones was okay with it, I would spend a little bit of money on Sophie.
On her paw, just make sure her paw's good.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
make sure the paw's good.
If he'd be okay with it, if he would allow me to do
Reinforcement,
so.
titanium paws.
Yeah.
Titanium paws.
A little jetpack.
Yeah.
Hey,
Only on the stipulation that you lean over to her and just go, "You're set for life now, kiddo."
Yeah.
In fact, say that to anybody that you help out with money. You just go, "You're set for life now, kiddo."
Fun fact, I say that to Sophie every time I run into her.
Oh yeah.
That's why we get along so well. Slip her a 20. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for throwing in questions. There were some good questions in there. Thank you to the panel for being such good spirits about it. We'll see what's up with Damiani. And we'll see you guys on the last Saturday of next month. If you want to ask some questions, it's $20 tier on Patreon, patreon.com/easyallies. Thanks, everybody.
Can I apologize?
Yeah, you can apologize.
I'm still thinking about how mean I was to the person who was talking about Tomb Raider. And I thought like somebody would be like, Kyle, you're out of line here. But then we're all like nodding and we moved on to the next question.
There's an implied unspoken Kyle, you're out of line kind of every time you speak.
All right, cool. Yeah, because like that person like is a patron and like wrote this question, like took time to like write it well too as
maybe
well.
your tone wasn't the best, maybe, but I think
so
what
I
you said
apologize
was
for my tone.
fine.
It didn't
also-
seem malicious.
All right, cool.
You didn't seem malicious. I figured it was a bit.
Kyle and Hubert, hang out after we're done. I gotta pitch you something.
Cat.
Secrets. Okay.
Thanks for letting me apologize, Ben. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.